I knew about all the news that you had put on here for the first time, perhaps in the show history.
Is that because all of the news is about the VGAs and we all watched it?
There's other stuff too that I just happened upon myself. But there's always one thing when the show notes come out where I'm like, oh, that's a weird thing.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, there's one more somewhere.
Like I said, if there's ever a time for me not to have show notes.
Found it. Found it.
Twoday.
Twould be today.
I'm the only one who played video games, but I also...
You finished Sekiro?
Fuck, yes.
What other video game news could hold up to
you mean
finish Sekiro in all caps?
The Video Game Awards Game of the Year, Sekiro?
Is that a fact?
Yeah, it is a fact.
Yes, Sekiro won Game of the Year at the Game
all
Awards.
stunned. And not because I didn't want it to happen, but because I thought that would be maybe the last place.
We all expected Death Stranding to win.
I didn't actually expect Death Stranding to win. I just did not expect Sekiro to win.
I thought Sekiro was a little bit too niche.
It kind of seemed like they gave at least one award to every single game.
That's not true at all. They gave like 20 to Death Stranding.
Yeah, they gave like one to Death Stranding.
No, Death Stranding won at least 4. I think it won 5, but I can't remember the 4th. For sure, it won Best Music, Best Performance, Best Direction, Best Action Adventure Game.
Holy.
And I think there was a 5th one, but I don't remember what the 5th one was.
Oh, it must have been during the... And this category is these announcements and this winner. And this category is these ones and this winner.
They had a few in those.
It was when the game came up for another category. They're like, Death Stranding also won.
Yeah. Because I think there was only one.
So Jeff Keighley is the president of the Hideo Kojima fan club.
GIF.
But not as the president as I thought he was.
Yeah, no, I think he had to dial it back. Jeff Keighley has, unlike Kojima, has editors, people to be like, really? We're giving 17 awards?
Jeff,
are you sure?
Jeff, come on.
I wonder if he had like the friend level conversation with Hideo Kojima, being like, "We just can't give you all the awards, whether you deserve them or not."
It's like we'll let you pick 5. You can pick any 5 because you would have won them all, but you can pick any 5 that you want.
It can't be Game of the Year because the people will laugh at us.
We'll have a second show after this, untelevised, just for you and me.
Yeah,
with a bigger orchestra,
bigger awards.
Yes, they're even heavier. You can't even lift these ones. Well, let's bring it in. We're talking about the Video Game Awards. Welcome to the show. It is, I don't even need to look, December the 16th, 2019, episode 301 of the Talking Reckless podcast. Hello, I'm Matt Eads. I am out of breath and have no voice today.
Hi, Matt Eads. I'm Brandon Lynch.
Hi, Brandon Lynch. Thank you.
Hi, Matt Eads. I'm Oliver Aguilar.
Hi, Oliver Aguilar.
Hi, Matt Eads. I'm Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. No last name. It's a little bit like Cher.
Kevin Sparkles.
Kevin Sparkles. Not to be confused with Amber Sparkle. No relation.
Right.
Sparkles in Spanish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Hi, welcome to the show. We were just talking a little bit about the Game Awards. And we're going to continue talking about the Game Awards here. A couple announcements. I really do almost have no voice. It was struggling on the weekend, and then we got drunk, and I was shouting a lot.
Yeah,
I was mad.
Yeah, well, not all the shouting was mad.
You're right. A lot of it was boisterousness, but there was some
anger at the end,
shouting
from not just you. There's some anger from multiple people brought in by the angriest video game of the year
from all time. All sides.
Space. Find the Alien Jackbox game.
Space Find the Alien Jackbox game.
Space Jam?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Come on in. That's the one with that song.
Yeah.
Matt Eads didn't get to play as Taz and was very upset.
Fucking bullshit, dude. We had one rule: is I get to be Taz, and then I show up and fucking Monch is, I'm Taz. Who the fuck you were? I didn't even know you're fucking being. Anyways.
Get out of here, Monch.
Yeah, that's what he's telling me. And then I invited him to this movie that he wasn't even invited. It's a whole thing.
Just scramble and buy tickets.
I had to buy him a ticket and act like we already had it. And
yeah.
That was real fucking
no Tron this week. I'm just not feeling great. It's been a hell of a weekend. Busy day today, too. We did D&D all day. It's on its own feed now. Go listen to Rolling Reckless. Episode 3 up now. We are fresh off 4 hours of D&D.
Yes,
like fresh off. Oliver still is in accent and can't normalize yet.
I can't. It's weird. How do you do it, nephew?
I was struggling today too, honestly.
Table's broken.
Yeah, table's going apart.
It was a good run.
Yes, Rolling Reckless has its own feed now. Our D&D Live Play podcast. It's up. It's not going to be on this Talking Reckless feed anymore. So go subscribe to it on iTunes.
There's just too much quality content.
Just
in one
way
stream.
too much.
We gotta split it up.
Yeah, it's against the law. Actually, we had to split it up.
The jocks demographic of our fans is like, fucking finally get that nerd shit out of here.
Tap out crew had fucking enough.
Hard video game talk.
Yeah, so go sign up for that. I forgot to say it on the show itself, but if you want to rate and review that show on iTunes as well, that stuff really helps. I gotta say that on this podcast too, and I always forget.
It's never more important than with a new show.
Or a teeny tiny little podcast like ours.
Right.
Yeah, so if you want to rate and review us on whatever your marketplace choice is, that would be super duper. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes a couple seconds, and it really helps us out. Unless you're going to rate us 1, in which case, that's probably better than nothing, I guess, actually. Yes.
As long as it's one of those reviews that's like super funny, where it's like, you know,
right.
You know, all those other super funny reviews.
1 out of 5. KB91 says...
That's right. If you run out of podcasts and need to listen to a podcast, you should pick this podcast because it's a good
keep going
podcast.
He's going to stick the landing. I can feel it. He's baiting us.
1 star.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
I'm on the totally opposite end of the spectrum energy-wise in that my sleep schedule since the night we all hung out and drank has been completely flipped. I slept until 12:30 in the afternoon today, and I'm halfway through a coffee.
I needed that.
I will be up until 3 or 4 a.m. This might as well be 3 in the afternoon for me right now.
Plus, it's the beginning of your weekend.
I tried real hard to...
and I had the weekend off. So.
I tried real hard to sleep in yesterday for some reason, because I'm like...
Because sleep is a basic function we need to live.
It's the first Saturday that I hadn't had my own D&D game going, so I'm like, hey, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to sleep in. And then next thing I know, it's like 7:30, and I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, well, I guess I'll get up. That was pretty much sleeping in, right?
It's fucked with the sun going down so early that I'm like, I will get up at 12. Well, not as a general rule, but today I got up at 12, and it feels like I played video games for a few hours, and all of a sudden the sun was going down. It's depressing. It really makes you feel like you're wasting your life.
Winter in Berta.
Well,
it's the 21st. That's the longest day of the year, yeah?
Shortest,
both,
yes. Yeah.
I think both are in June, and then in both are true.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
So, I mean, that comes up quite quick.
It's
but it only starts getting longer. Like, we're still getting shorter. The days are still getting shorter. Yeah. So, like, by April, we'll have some daylight.
We're already getting lighter earlier it's staying. The sunset has been its earliest and is now getting later.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. But if December the 21st is the shortest day, how can?
Because
the sunrise.
We're losing it on the sunrise and fast. So, yeah, I learned that from Twitter.
Oh,
yes.
I thought from like the meteorologist guy.
Yeah, so did I actually. Yeah. You're practicing on the board.
You know, young Brendo.
Random unavatared Twitter account.
Gather round. Let me teach you how to point at this green screen.
Yes.
The green screen or a blue screen? Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's green. Yeah. I do, like, I only see that guy when we do live hits, though, and he doesn't have a green screen. He's got a he's got a phone where he's like...
Josh?
Yeah, and he's clicking stuff and making the graphics appear, but he doesn't know if it's actually working.
Do you really just out in the field, he has to, like, blindly...
Yeah, he's got, like...
He doesn't have someone in the studio to be like, okay, when I say do this, fucking...
No, because he wants to, like, control it. He wants to be like, hey, and looking at the cross-country forecast, and he hits it, and it pops up. And,
that's wild. That is so much... What faith he must have.
Sometimes he'll, like, get half on some Wi-Fi or something, or we'll have bad signal or something, and you'll tell, like, right up to showtime, like right up till we take him live, he's just fucking banging on the thing, and I'm like, well, this is gonna go terribly, and then it, like, fucking 2 seconds before they take the camera, he just looks up, all smiles.
So hold on.
Nails it.
That's the magic.
Yeah.
You say live, but is it like fake live, like radio live is live?
No, it's real live.
It's real live?
Yeah.
Radio live is live.
Allegedly.
I mean, when you voice track, when you're not live, you're not live. But like
the phone calls they take during like a music,
they're like a little delayed because what if someone
recorded?
Well, yeah. What if someone picks the phone up and goes fuck?
Yeah,
like,
that's something I just realized. Well, I mean, just.
But like they're fat. It's maybe like a 30-second delay. Like good hosts are fast. It's in the fucking machine and they just whoop 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 cut boom call plays. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
How little time between actually.
Or you can just record all your shows on one day and then just take the rest of the week off.
That's an industry secret that we don't tell anyone. And you're supposed to be in the studio in case anything goes wrong.
No.
But sometimes you get a call from the general manager. They're like, Matt, are you in the studio? It's Saturday. And I'm like, well, in my house. Like, of course I am. Where else would I be? Yeah, no, things are going really well. Why? What's your just check? Okay.
We just look out the station window here.
Are you?
There it is, the corner of Perron and 4th.
That's
still there.
Are you calling me from like the window that can see the studio? Because if not, I am definitely in the studio.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, totally there. Obvious. I just went on air. Didn't you hear me? I'm just talking about Guns N' Roses or whatever.
Guns N' Roses.
It's got like a pencil like cheat sheet of all the stuff that you're supposed to be talking
I
about.
probably do have my breaks still from like actually recording my breaks.
Yeah.
I'm like, which one are we? Oh no, sorry, that was last week. Radio Live's live, you know. It wasn't. Listen, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of. I recorded my show because I also had to work an 8-hour office job, and I also had to go and run the events during my 8-hour office job. Man was wearing a lot of hats.
If you watch the actual local newscast, you will see it go wrong enough times for you to know it's real life.
I like watching newscasts
Yeah.
go a little wrong.
Yeah.
Swinging. Do you see that video about it was like the participation or whatever is part of it's activity month or whatever, and they have a different activity of the week. And they're like, oh, this is our fitness activity this week or whatever, and it just said swinging on the bottom of the screen,
Yeah.
you know, like on the swings.
Right.
And the guy delivering it just
lost it.
was like, come on, guys, swinging really like just went through the whole bit and like,
Yeah.
like talking to the two anchors, like, well, I know back in their day they were into some swinging there. He's teasing the bowl, you know what I'm saying? And like does this whole bit, he's like, oh, swinging. Oh,
I see. That makes
it was
sense.
great. I love honest. Like, you know, it's live,
Yeah.
but you also know that everyone is they're handling that beautifully.
The best is when like one of the person talking, one of the co-anchors will like accidentally swear, but is professional enough to just kind of keep soldiering on, but their co-anchor is not, and just starts laughing at the desk.
Well, that was shitty. In other news, the other person just can't hold it together.
Yeah.
Come on. It's like your number one job.
These bloopers are great.
Yeah. It's the thing they train you in radio or TV. If anything ever goes wrong, you pretend it never happened. You just soldier on.
Yeah.
The last thing you do
going.
is ever acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, some
Look at that.
horrible racist things were said, huh? Well, just keep moving.
Let's keep moving. Yep.
Anything like that ever happened with you, Brando?
Horribly racist things.
No.
Bloopers, just bloopers. Outtakes.
Not since the last
Yeah,
meeting.
there was one time I was shooting a live hit where the girl lost her IFB. Like where they talked to her in her ear,
Yeah.
and didn't know she was live, and was like, while they took her live, like looking behind her, being
Ron
like,
Burgundy.
"Oh, that's a real nice car. Hopefully, it's not too loud when it drives by." Like, it was like a Mustang or
At
something.
least that's all she said.
I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe next time don't wear a bra.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. Ron Burgundy shit.
Yeah, no, nothing too crazy. I'm an absolute pro.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's good to have a pro. Because I bet your anchors appreciate that. Like, no matter what happens, Brando's going to get me through this.
That's right.
Josh Clausen's a beaut, also.
Josh, anything can go wrong with Josh Clausen.
Yeah.
He is the king of soldier on.
Yeah, that man's fucking thing he doesn't even need it.
Yeah,
Throw it over his shoulder.
Yeah,
He's
go with it.
local weatherman here at Edmonton. He's tremendous.
Fuck it,
He's an
Brando,
absolute
let's
legend.
do this.
Yeah.
Absolutely tremendous.
He is also now since you say that, he is the only guy that will like refer to me by name while we're live. Like there was one thing where we were doing this like
I love that.
toy
Yeah, that's
mountain.
great.
We were doing this toy mountain hit, and they had cooked us like this really good food. It was like roasted chicken and baked potatoes and everything. And he like brought a plate of it for like the display for the camera. And so I like shows it, and then I go like zoom in, and then I'm backing up, and he's like, "Brandon, just nod the camera if you thought that was good." And if I can do a little nod.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really
becoming
fun.
a character. Brandon off screen.
Yep.
Yeah,
no,
then
he has
feels
fun
like a
with
team
it.
dynamic.
He has fun with it in a way that more people should.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's a good man. Josh Clausen. Look him up.
He's the
I
best.
guess. I don't know.
If you're interested in
I don't
Edmonton
know.
weather,
The Video Game Awards. Not to, we want to talk about VGAs. We were talking a little bit about them coming in. We played D&D. We want to talk about D&D.
That's the only game I've really been playing. I can talk about that a lot.
Any notable
Exent.
fatalities?
No, not today.
we're
We
good?
thought there might have been, but the
Yeah.
crowd really rallied together.
everyone remembered they have abilities, and if they use their abilities, they can actually do damage.
Yeah, it was weird. A little
So-
D&D game broke out. It was really weird.
Yes.
Yeah, people
Wow.
started using their spells and things. And
Yeah, I'm just looking. We got the board laid out all in front of us, and there's fucking dead spiders belly up and fucking.
it was
Snow
a
critters
slaughter.
and-
You can go
yeah.
watch the VOD for Reckless, Rolling Reckless 03 if you want to
Show's going well.
re-experience that. I think so.
As
Yeah.
general, yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's
I
like
bet.
It's a lot more work. Everything is always more work than I thought it would be. It's like we just started in the TRWL stuff, and I was like, oh, we'll just fucking stream some Rust. That'll be like 2 hours a month. That's easy peasy. I almost have the TRW. I'm down to like maybe 30 hours a month on the TRWL, so I'm doing pretty good there. But these D&D shows are still like, for every 4-hour session, I'm prepping for like 15, 16.
Damn.
Not including the DM's Guild, which kind of doesn't count because I can sort of like, I'm working, work stream day. It still goes into it though, so it's a lot of prep goes into them.
Not gonna lie, if I did more than 3 hours of prep per week for my game, that was like a lot.
I always try to. I spent most of my time is like half of it is drawing and writing and stuff, and then the other half is making sure all my accents don't sound just make sure all my accents don't sound the same, really, because a lot of them kind of blend together after a while.
Yeah. It's easy if you don't do accents.
Yeah.
So I'm rocking an accent for this one, and like I've been putting a lot of like time.
It's coming. It shows. It shows.
Yeah. And yeah. See.
Yeah.
And it's something that I just do like in my truck while I'm driving in practice.
Yeah.
But like for you, because you're doing like a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, I
like
do
how
like-
do you?
I do like full conversations sometimes, and like because it's how it could go in the game, right? If you guys walk into a place and 2 other people are having a conversation, I mean, I could just be like, "Oh, you overhear a conversation about the state of the economy," or I don't know, fucking the Senate.
Riveting shit.
Yeah, or
Tell me
I could play out this interesting conversation about the economy.
Yeah,
you know what saying?
I'm gonna eavesdrop on this conversation.
I find something to imitate usually, and I watch a bunch of Flight of the Conchords, in case we meet people from your area of the world in D&D who have that New Zealander accent.
Kiwi.
You can't. I mean, if you
One of
can't
the
say
tips-
Newfies, you can't say Kiwi for sure. So.
You can say both of them. They call them.
Well,
themselves
we're gonna open this back up again. That argument doesn't hold any water. We're gonna.
I guess, yeah. You're right.
Open up this
Absolutely.
can of worms again?
But I think that's fine.
Well, all right.
One of the tips that I can tell you
Yep.
is that Australians.
Are you doing it now?
Yes. Yes. Australians and Kiwis, Aussies and Kiwis actually.
Yeah.
They don't like to say more than 2 syllables.
What do you give me? What if they say refrigerator?
Like as opposed to Australians, they call themselves Aussies or New Zealanders,
New Zealand, yeah.
Kiwis,
What about? You must have said.
fridge.
He said syllables,
Cold
and
box.
he said
Syllables.
syllables, and I could see his face spasm in pain.
They try not to, but they try not to say more than 2 syllables.
Yeah.
But it's completely not in posy.
Not in Posy.
Not in posy. Brando, that's me. That's
Yeah.
how is that?
You kind of drift back in, and I'd realize, oh, it is Oliver.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go back out into the 2-syllable bit, and I was like, where'd he go?
It's hard to when everybody's doing different voices, and like sometimes I accidentally mirror yours back to you when I don't mean to.
It's very fun though. Like it actually has allowed me to dive into the character a lot better.
Yeah, it's an acting
actually
tool,
really
you know?
fun. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yes.
Oh,
And
goofy.
then
yeah, that's my goof. That's who you guys give me the
Goofy.
character.
Yeah.
okay, here's a question. Because
You wanna
yes,
answer as
this
Goofy?
is absolutely the only game I've been
Yes.
playing. Is Kevin? You run your own game. It's been long running.
It's over.
Is it over?
Yeah, last Saturday was the final
Oh shit!
session.
It was
Oh,
like
good.
what was it, like a year and 2 months or something? It was just over a year, right?
I mean, calendar wise, it was like March to the following November.
Oh yeah, so we played the first few
First
sessions
season,
of that.
yeah.
That's right.
But I mean, session wise, it was 57. I want to say 57 sessions.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That notwithstanding, you say your prep time is about 3 hours.
On a busy week.
Okay. Yeah. Right, on the longer end. Matt, how come it takes you longer?
I don't know. We probably have very different
Yeah.
prep
So
styles. I write a lot of backstory. Every character you guys have ever met has parents and a place they grew up and a fucking last name because you guys always ask their last name. And now that every time you guys have ever asked a
last
character everything, I have started putting all those information for every character. So I'm like, well, what if these fucking guys ask them who their mother's, father's, brother's barber was? Like, they did that one time, so now I got to know.
oh, Jonas Shears. Yeah.
That's right, Jonah Shears.
Jonas Shears from Baldur's Gate.
I'm surprised you've heard of him.
Convenient last name for the profession.
Best in the land. So I don't know. I just put a lot of time into it. And it's like, it's, it feels like work. I'm like, oh, fuck, well, gotta get to work. Start typing away on the D&D, gotta feel productive. Gotta put those patron pledges towards something.
The whole DM side of it is very fascinating to me. Like, very fascinating. Just by playing it this last bit, I'm like, fuck, you guys do like a really good job, and like, fuck, that seems like a lot of fucking work, and it's very good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
So hats off,
labor of love
to both
labor
of
of
you.
love. That was a little acting there. He wasn't really wearing a hat, but he pretended to.
That's right.
Acting.
Take it on and off just like an accent.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Right.
Maximum of 2 brims, you
Lost
guys.
it. Yeah, we got lots more D&D. Next game's on Sunday. If you want to join us, watch that live or catch the VODs or podcast form. It's very fun. I like D&D a lot. A lot!
I like D&D a lot as well, and I'm glad we're playing it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Super glad. Can talk about some VGAs here, gentlemen?
yeah, let's do it. The Oscars of the video game world.
If you will. I'll start with the craziest story from this thing. Microsoft showed the next Xbox.
Series.
That's maybe the second craziest story. The next Xbox is called the Xbox Series X, which is...
It's a weird name.
Oh, the Xbox X, the Series X, the SX.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
XX.
The XX, yeah. I mean, just call it the Xbox at this point, probably.
I have been calling all of them the sex boxes
Yeah.
because of how they positively affect my love life.
That's right. Yeah, they announced it and they showed it just out of nowhere. Phil Spencer came out and
Big old
basically-
smirk on his
Yep,
face.
The fucking crotch chop Sony.
Yeah.
Fucking pointed at whoever was the fucking Sean Layden or whoever was there.
Yeah,
And
did the Undertaker throat slit gesture?
yeah, and then boom, Xbox on screen.
Yeah.
It
No
looks-
one knew how big it was.
Yeah, well, they show it next to a controller,
Yeah.
so people have kind of sussed out that it is about 12 inches tall, so foot by 6 inches, which is not big. That's
No, it's fine.
holding it here on the table is like it's a foot. No,
It's like
no,
a
no.
foot.
But yeah.
It's like a foot.
Yeah. So
So
it's
picture,
like a
picture Matt
GameCube
Eads'
stretched
hand
out,
a foot above the
foot
table.
apart. Foot apart. It's a foot by 6 inches, so it's
Yeah.
like
It's like a tube.
yeah,
It's more
There
tubular.
you go. Yeah, that's exactly
yeah.
it.
It's literally
yeah.
I sort of like that form. Like it's like a compact tower column kind of
It looks
thing.
fucking sturdy.
Yeah.
It looked like I could fucking hold up my chair with it. Fucking use it as a chair leg.
Put your feet on it.
Yeah.
It can go sideways or horizontal, or I mean more vertical.
It looks like, much like the Nintendo GameCube, you could drop it down a flight of stairs and it would still turn on.
Fucking handle on that bad boy. Has a disc drive. The one they showed had a disc
Yeah,
drive.
it had that slot for disc drive.
That's right.
Fucking crazy.
And then they announced Hellblade 2 with it as their, which seemed like
It's a weird game.
yeah, weird announcement and a really weird game to announce as you're like, here's the next Xbox and
Bundled with
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2.
Is this, yeah.
The only reason I get it is because when Hellblade 1 came out, it was one of the best looking games you could find.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's a good showpiece game for like ads and stuff, being like, look at how good Hellblade, look at how good all games are going to look based on this game. But in terms of like why you don't got nothing from Halo you can
where's-
sort
where's-
of-
Like,
Did Master Chief take the week off? Like
Yeah.
what is happening?
as far as like star power and that sort of equivalent in terms of games, like that game is like, I don't know, the Joaquin Phoenix of fucking games.
Sure,
you know
having,
what I mean? Like,
having a
it's-
renaissance.
Yeah, it's good, but it's just kind of low key good.
You're right. Yeah.
Joaquin
no.
is low key good. I guess Joaquin
Yeah.
is.
Joaquin's low key incredible.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I think he's better than low key.
Everybody
good.
recognizes that he's really good.
I've only ever seen him
I feel like you get.
Gladiator
It
and
feels like you
Joker,
get less
but-
opportunity on the big stage to admire Joaquin.
What I mean is like Tom Cruise is like a Halo.
Yeah, Tom
Or
Cruise.
like-
Tom Cruise is
yeah.
the Master Chief.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Am I being a little out of touch with Tom Cruise? He hasn't done shit in a while. Who's
Well, there's the size differential.
He
is
probably put out
is
4
incredible.
movies this year. What are you saying?
maybe, yeah. Maybe I'm just out of touch.
I'm actually pretty sure there's a new Netflix movie out. Well, it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's a Netflix movie, but there's
called American Made or
something
whatever.
with Tom Cruise in it.
Did
That's an old movie, and it's really good.
American Made's the one where he's the
pilot.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was in theaters.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
It's
think
on
it
Netflix
came
now.
out this
I
year.
enjoyed that movie too, but the 3 other people I went with said it was garbage. That new Mission Impossible movie.
The last one.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah.
Fallout.
I think by a considerable degree, the best Mission Impossible movie they've ever done.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. Fallout's really good.
Yeah.
It
very
follows
good.
really good.
Is that the one with Henry Cavill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe I don't even know if I.
They have the fight in the washroom.
Fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I saw
Oh
that
god.
one.
There's just
The
something
helicopter- the
about a man's
helicopter
head
ending.
going through a sink that you're just like, oh no,
Sinks are hard to break.
he's dead. It's like that scene at the beginning of what was that? His Conviction? Splinter Cell Conviction? Like the very opening. Is that the one where you're like dragging the guy through the bathroom across the tiles and shit? Whoa.
Also, that first scene in Casino Royale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was another good bathroom scene.
Died. Not well.
Not
No,
well.
no, well.
Hellblade 2, weird,
yeah.
really weird. Like it looks dope. That trailer, I was already in. I thought Hellblade 1 was very neat.
Yeah.
It's like a real bummer that kind of the gimmick was spoiled going in, but that's not Hellblade's fault.
Right. I was more like
stoked for 2.
Hellblade 2 was just up there while the shock of Microsoft's Xbox being unveiled was
Yeah.
still washing over me in a way where I'm like, what? I don't even care what this is.
There's like a weird trailer too with like it's not throat singing, but it's some kind of like tribal chanting,
Yeah.
and that girl's just like screaming it at you, and you're
Yeah.
like, what? I just want to know about the Xbox, Phil. What?
Yeah. tell me
Oh
about the
man.
Xbox. He had very little to say about the Xbox.
Yeah, they didn't say jack shit. They just
Yeah.
showed it, and they're like, holiday 2020. Buckle up, motherfuckers.
I'm excited.
And I got a whole slew of a lot of these are just announcements that we can just kind of fly through. I'm seeing if there's kind of anything else that is really worth breaking down. I guess we'll just start going through them. They showed something called Godfall, which was their PS5 debut game, and with a PS5 on the end, and they made a big deal. Jeff Keighley said the words, I forget what it was. When he said it, I'm like, Jeff, that's fucking stupid. He's like, here, now we know exactly what games on the PS5 will look like or something. But this
I
trailer...
don't know exactly what a game on the PS5 will look like.
They said like now we see how it plays or whatever. The word gameplay.
Right.
Jeff said gameplay.
In a way that there was no
Yeah, no,
such
they
gameplay.
just show you 3 characters and they're very nicely rendered and there's a lot of particles and it runs real well. But who knows? That game could be that could be any. It could be a racing game. It could be a MOBA. It could be a shooter. Who knows?
Was
Right.
Godfall the one where it was like a statue and then through like centuries and centuries, like it shows like, the statue getting like weathered and old, but there's different. No, this isn't.
I don't know if that was the Godfall trailer. It had
No, that was
Let's see.
that was a sequel for something, because I think they tried to pull a gem out of its head, and you guys were all like
what are they pulling the gem? That's what is
freaking out
this?
about something because it was a sequel for something.
Oh, I don't know.
Was it It wasn't the Magic Legends thing. I do remember they kept trying to pull that gem out
Yeah.
and getting infected. Oh yeah, that was I'm sure I'll recognize when we go through.
Was it the forest one? I remember you were popping for
No,
the forest one.
Sons of the Forest.
Yeah.
We'll go through here.
right.
Godfall, they showed, it was just character trailer, just characters. It's like one guy looks like a Spartan, and one lady could maybe has the like Athena helmet and a shield with a owl on it, and they looked like you're like gods, but in mech suits.
Right.
If Iron Man did gods. And
I remember that one.
and then they just like the 3 of them stand together. It's like PS5. And like, great, yeah, you're right, Jeff. I guess we know. Cool, but they did not show that game could be literally anything.
Yeah. It's
so
too early
billing
for
it-
gameplay for next gen consoles.
I suppose,
feel
but
like.
don't say it, Jeff. Don't fucking say it.
I'm with you. I blame Jeff. I do not blame PlayStation for not having
Yeah.
something more.
Don't put it out there and be like, here's our hallmark, finally debuting gameplay on the PS5 or whatever he said. I don't remember the exact wording,
Right.
but it was enough.
Game of the year 2020.
Yeah, what
that we just saw.
If you watch that stream, like, wait a minute, we did watch the whole thing. The VOD is up, by the way, if you want play-by-play commentary of that night. It was a fun night. There's a lot of fun.
Say what
like,
you will about that show as a whole. It is very fun to kind of gather around with a bunch of people who are into video games and point out everything that is good and stupid about what they're doing.
It was actually very good. I think this is like one of my favorite VGAs as well. I really just liked the presentation and everything.
Yeah.
They announced Bravely Default 2. Slated for 2020. They announced a game called Weird West, which is some kind of a top-down game from a studio called Wolfeye, which is folks who worked on Prey and Dishonored.
I really like the look of that game.
So do I,
Yeah,
and
it's got. I like the
style.
look. I like the look of the art.
Yeah.
The game play itself, which
That's
they
what I
just
meant.
showed you top down,
Yeah.
and like again, it could be anything.
Right.
But and there was so much of this like we're gonna show one top down scene from our game. Be like, look, gameplay. You can see clearly how play. Buy it
There's
now.
a lot of top-down shots of different games throughout these awards.
With like zero info on them,
Yeah.
and you're like, what kind of game is this?
Then someone would just yell MMO at the end.
Yeah. there was a lot of like 2 MMOs got announced. Which, weird times. Riot announced a League of Legends spinoff called Ruined King, a League of Legends story. Dark Alliance. They announced Dark Alliance, a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which is a video game that came out in, I'm going to guess, 2001.
That sounds about right, because I remember a friend of mine and I used to skip school in university to go back to his place and play Dark Alliance.
It's so good. I used to skip school in probably elementary to play Dark Alliance. Yes, 2001. And again, they showed a CG cutscene. I think it is a brand new game. A spiritual successor is what they call it. But the cutscenes look like old and shitty in the way the 2001 CG did. Where I'm like, is this remastered from the original, or are they just trying to evoke this like old style? I wasn't super clear on.
They're doing a separate Baldur's Gate game.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And we don't think those will have anything to do with each other.
They're both in
the universe.
In the universe, yeah. It's like Star Wars games.
Sure.
But where am I? Player Unknown, yes, had a very brief teaser for a game called Prologue. I thought this was something to do with PUBG, but apparently it's a completely separate game. Just called Prologue. It was a shot of a forest, I think, it was raining, and there was a lightning flash, and it was 2 seconds long, and it said Prologue, Player Unknown. And I guess if you really love Player Unknown, you're probably pretty excited.
You think he would still be doing stuff for Battlegrounds?
I think they sold it. I think that's
did he just get rid of it?
Yeah, I think that's part of Blue Point or something. I don't think he's involved in that project
because they
anymore.
are supposed to be doing some weird single player thing on that game, right?
Yeah, and that's what I thought this was. I'm like, oh, Player Unknown. This must be that prologue to PUBG, I guess. The story of why they're on that island, maybe, but no. Apparently,
that's what everyone wants from their battle royale game.
Why are the 100 people in the bus? No, apparently it's a totally separate game. Ori and the Will O' the Wisps announced for March 11th. Control's Expeditions DLC is out now. That's the free, put the thing in the jukebox, go to what looks like a randomly generated little combat thing. Foundation comes out. That is their first story-driven one on March 26th, which is pretty soon.
I don't know if I'm interested in that one that's out now.
I'm super not. Yeah. I love Control, but the combat is, I think, my least favorite part of it.
Oh, really? I really like the combat. I just don't know if I want not story. Yeah. I like a story to pull me through on that kind of stuff.
I do like the combat, but I like everything else in Control way more.
Sure, yeah.
If there are special objects, if there are like altered items, I'll have to go and just see what they are. I'll have to play it, I guess.
They stick an altered item at the end of the first couple randomly generated spots,
or like just
they'll get you
a couple dossiers of like, maybe we don't find one, but here's one that exists or something. Just a little bit to pull me through. They show Gears Tactics, which looks a lot like Gears XCOM, April 28th. PS4 exclusive Ghosts of Tsushima. We still haven't seen gameplay. We saw.
I think there was gameplay in there.
Some of it was
sort
gameplay.
of.
You couldn't tell what was gameplay and what wasn't.
We saw a man riding on a horse.
That I believe was not gameplay.
Some of the assassination. No, there was a bunch of riding on a horse.
It looked pretty open world.
Some of the assassinations looked like it was gameplay.
The jumping off.
There's a lot of stuff really low. I think third person that I thought was gameplay when I saw it.
That first trailer that they released had some gameplay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they jumped up onto the thing and then did the assassinations.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
And I think there was some spots where it followed the guy and then sort of zoomed out when he encountered the two. And there's some combat.
I do kind of remember.
I think
we still don't really have any information on how it plays. Is this game Sekiro? Is kind of I think what I want to know. Anyways, how does this samurai game that was talked about right before Sekiro came out and then went dark once Sekiro came out?
Yeah.
Or was it once Sekiro?
This game looks incredible.
Yeah, visually it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And Sucker Punch has been quiet since like the beginning of the PlayStation 4, since Last Light.
Very much like Sucker Punch games.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Infamous
so I'm looking forward to
is the only ones I can think. Did they do Resistance? A new Resistance got announced. I don't think that wasn't at the VGAs. I don't think I'm making that up. I don't know what just made me think about that.
Sucker Punch, Resistance.
That was Insomniac, now that I say that.
Insomniac, yes.
A new Resistance, Fall of Man.
Which Insomniac did Spider-Man.
Yes. Let me see. There's Resistance, Fall of Man. I'm looking if there's a new announcement.
Ghost of Tsushima, holy.
Yeah, it looks dope.
Yeah,
I love samurais. They're one step away from Jedi.
I only like samurais all of a sudden lately.
Ninjas are better than samurais.
I killed a
Hot take.
lot of ninjas.
Okay, maybe I'm on drugs. I don't see anything for
Is
a new
Sekiro
resistance game.
not a samurai?
Sekiro is a samurai, right?
Is he
No, well, he's
You're
a,
right, he
he's
is
a,
not
he's
a samurai.
He's a shinobi, right?
Yes, he's not a samurai.
He's not a samurai.
He's a shinobi.
The double
Shinobi.
negative fucked me up. But a shinobi is what? A ninja?
I don't know.
Samurai.
I don't know. The Ronin is a
Ronin
samurai
is-
without a master.
Yeah.
And, yep, I don't know. Probably a ninja adjacent. I don't know. Yeah,
I know I killed a lot of ninjas as shinobi Sekiro.
a lot of. You also kill a lot of shinobis. A lot of those hand-to-hand guys with like the poison punches are shinobis.
But I guess to Kevin's point, those guys all killed me a lot more than I killed them.
Yeah, there you go. So
Maybe there must be no resistance. I don't know where I dreamed that. That's crazy. I
It's
thought
a good world you're living in, though.
man, I remember a trailer or something where it's like just seems an innocuous trailer, and then you see a monster, and you're like, oh, that looks kind of like the old Resistance aliens or whatever, and it like opens its eye and has that gold on black eye. And you're like, oh, I must have totally made this all up. Is this not
Waking
real?
dream.
What the? Oh man.
The other major franchise that Sucker Punch did was Sly Cooper,
Oh, Sly Cooper.
which is good because I was going to say Ratchet and Clank and knew that was not true.
People would eat you
I
alive.
know, people would not have been happy.
If anyone, write me in podcast at talkingreckless.com if you know what Resistance thing I'm fucking up. Summer 2020 for Ghosts of Tsushima.
Great.
They showed Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Yeah,
With,
yeah.
fucking go.
What's the actress name? Michelle Rodriguez.
yeah, Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel came out and
I saw a
showed.
picture of like Tyrese. Was Tyrese in there too?
I think he was in the trailer.
Yeah, he wasn't on stage.
Yeah, he wasn't on
Oh,
stage.
there are people on stage.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez and
Fuck
Vin
yeah,
Diesel were on
holy.
stage.
Vin Diesel kept bending over the mic, and he didn't have to because it was a good pickup pattern.
Everybody kept bending over the mic.
It was super awkward too because it kind of seems like they told Michelle Rodriguez that she was there to introduce Vin Diesel, and then Vin Diesel would talk about the game, because she like introduced him and then walked off to the side while he went up to the mic and started talking.
I bet they wanted her to
And
like, yo,
then-
stay in frame for this. You're star cast.
And then Vin Diesel started like turning and asking her questions, and
they're
she
like-
like awkwardly walked back up to the mic and answered the question, and then kind of took another step back like she wasn't supposed to be there.
I don't think he was supposed to be taught. They were like talking about like Fast 9 and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think I was supposed to say that. Like, I don't think he was supposed to talk to her at all. Fucking Vin Diesel, do what Vin Diesel
Yeah, Vin
wants.
Diesel do what he want.
Vin Diesel do what he wants.
Speaking of not professionals,
That trailer looks fucking dope. That trailer, I mean, granted, it looks exactly like all the Need for Speed. It looks like that Need for Speed trailer where they drive the car into the truck or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, the trailer looks real fucking dope, but it's easy to make a good fast racing trailer look awesome and then have your game be Need for Speed.
I don't think that game's not going to be about racing at all.
No, it shouldn't be. I hope it's not. I hope it's not. They showed like
Franchise hasn't been about racing since 2.
they show people driving like fucking there was like a Shagohod race where these two like rocket powered giant things flying down the track and going
I want a submarine race real bad.
Looks good.
Submarine race.
you know those big like spinning saw blades they use for mining that are like the size of this house, and they just kind of go back, they like drive through one of those for some fucking reason, and it looks awesome.
I just want to drive a tiny car underneath a moving semi.
Yes, I want to
You'll be able to do that.
I want to do the thing where you
feeling.
and the semi are like driving parallel, and you like whoosh,
Yeah,
go
that's
under.
what I mean, yeah.
whoosh, go at the other side.
And then no, you just go right under, and then the fucking floor of the semi
Pulls you up.
pulls me up, and fucking
different car
that's how
goes
you
out the
get
other
away.
side.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think they've run that gag before.
Yeah,
I
probably.
feel like they should make like Lego Fast and the Furious games, where it's just like you just play through the game or play through the movie,
That'd be
and
great.
you just do all the stunts from the movie.
with the voice lines like the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah.
Pull them out of the movie.
the voice lines are fucking awesome in that
You
movie.
call-
Like the quotes.
Yeah, they would take the shitty ones. Like do it worse than Lord of the Rings is pretty cohesive. Do it way worse of just like, were you a cop? That's all you need. That's all I'm about to say.
I would love a stuntman style, like for this, but stuntman style.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the story sense where it's like you're recreating the stunts on, like I want it to actually be like you're in these action sequences. You're not on the set of a movie, but it has like the go left here, go right here, and you're just trying to hit the prompts, and the world is just exploding around you, and it's like Dewey here while the semi trailer's like rolling down the road towards you, and you got to take off the other way.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was kind kind of thinking about that, but those stuntman games were really
Those were
fun.
great, yeah.
And I wish they would continue on with that because there's such like a well of content that they could use for that.
Yeah.
Did you ever play? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I did not play
I
Stuntman.
never played the
was so
Stuntman
good.
games,
You should break out Stuntman.
Yeah,
at
you
some
should.
point. Yeah.
Pull it on the old stream one day.
It's not necessarily a racing game, but it's a driving game where you are a stuntman. Wait, is it Stuntman? What are we
What
talking
did I
about?
say? Yeah, Stuntman.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's called?
I think so.
Yeah, and there's like there's like holographic like kind of signpost kind of things where it's like they like talk to you at the beginning and kind of set the story premise
okay,
where they're
it is.
like, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be going down this road and all of a sudden the log truck's gonna explode and all the logs are gonna come towards you and you're gonna have to whip in and out of here and then go into the flaming barn and then you set up and you do it and they're like giving you the directions as they come up where it's like hairpin turn right and as your hairpin
like a
turn,
real
you'll-
race.
yeah, and you'll see like the like logs come like almost hit your car, but you're doing the hairpin turn. So, and they're all like so many of the scenes are based around like kind of
of
fake,
Hazzard.
yeah, like fake versions of licensed stuff where
Oh,
it's
that'd
like
be dope.
where it's like this is clearly inspired by a Batmobile race where you're going through the parkade and they're blowing up the
You
supports.
should really
and,
look into that for one of your streams because it's a
We'll break
fun
it out
game.
one day. That sounds dope.
It's
And yeah,
really
they score you at the end depending on how close you got to like the hazard or whatever. And I don't know if at the very end of like a series of race challenges or whatever, but they actually pull your game footage and then pull it into a trailer.
yeah.
For that
Yeah,
movie.
with like the multiple camera angles. They put the GoPro on one of the logs that's falling down. and
sounds dope.
It's really cool.
It's a really good
Premise wise, it is an absolute shame they haven't made one of those
Yeah.
since then. I think that was like 3 or something, right?
I think so.
I think the one
I
I'm thinking
remember
of
having
was
fun
3.
with that game a lot.
A banger.
You guys remember Drive? I'm just over here thinking about. Is it Driver 3? Is that the one where you're like quantum
You're, like,
leaping into
jumping
the other?
different
Yeah.
people's cars. Yeah.
Oh, wasn't Vin Diesel in? No. What's the other Vin Diesel driving game? The Wheelman.
Wheelman, yeah.
Wheelman. Okay. Yeah. It's all falling back into
I'm
place.
sure there was also a XXX game with cars.
I don't think there was actually.
Yeah, not that I.
It seemed like
there must be.
It seemed like the
No, you're
era
right.
where they would have made
Yeah.
There must be.
Could have been like cars and motorbikes and speedboats.
in skiing.
The 3
Yes.
X's: cars, motorbikes, speedboats, and skiing.
Yeah.
No, they only got the Triple X game after Ice Cube replaced Vin Diesel for State of the Union, I believe it was called.
The right call. Nah.
The real Triple X. They showed a trailer for something called Humankind, which looks a lot like Civ to me. It was hard to. It's played on hexes and seems to be kind of a city.
I don't know if I'll ever play
civilization.
one of those games.
Civ is really good. Civ is
I'll
like.
die without playing one of
You
those
said that.
games. I
This is the
bet.
Sekiro thing all over again, except the hump for Civ is like there is no hump.
It's easy.
It's a straight down ramp where you're like, I got time for one more turn, and then
think,
5 hours later,
I think the Humankind one is the one that people were saying kind of looked like it was for mobile too.
I might describe a lot of these games that
Yeah,
unless they
that's
explicitly
true.
were like, this is for mobile, it wasn't for mobile. But yeah, it totally gives that vibe.
While we're talking about mobile, I would like to give my one little protest of the Game Awards that Call of Duty got the
Call of
mobile
Duty
game
mobile.
of the year, and there was a fucking lot of really good games on the Apple Game Pass.
Grindstone was on that list against
I'm
it.
playing What the Golf right now,
the
and that
Golf?
game is really fun. And I was very angry that stupid Call of Duty won another thing on a cell phone.
I heard Call of Duty Mobile's really fun if you plug in a PS3 controller and it's fucking wreck everybody who's using a phone.
That sounds all right.
Yeah. Somebody on Kotaku, I remember posting
Being on
that
the other end
article.
of that doesn't sound like very much fun.
Well, you're already on the
Yeah.
controller.
Yeah, they
It's
barely
time to
know.
go. Marvel Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Rise of the Phoenix got announced. The expansion that adds Gambit, Dark Phoenix, Iceman, and Cable. Those are X people. Gambit, like fucking no X-Men in the game or what? Gambit not in Marvel
Gambit's
Ultimate
not in
Alliance
there.
3? Iceman? Aren't
Well,
Gambit
they're-
and Iceman like your
There are a couple
Base
that are
ass.
in there, but they're all like
Psylocke?
Wolverine is in
ones
there.
that I would not necessarily consider to be
Psylocke is in Marvel versus Capcom.
Psylocke is like
so I don't know who she is.
seventh
but,
generation X-Men.
you know.
They went through 7 different teams before they finally said, Psylocke, you can
Psylocke,
join.
sure.
Is fucking regular Jean Grey in it?
I don't think so,
No?
no.
Okay.
Because
Wolverine's honestly the only one. Cyclops is in it, right?
No.
Who the fuck's in it? Wolverine's in it.
Wolverine, Wolverine, Psylocke, Magneto, and there was one other one, Nightcrawler.
Kind of crazy that
Or the-
Cyclops isn't in it.
No?
DLC maybe. Maybe they're trying to sell you.
He's
I think
pretty OG.
I think there already was a Cyclops and one other person DLC. And then this is another
The characters
one.
we forgot.
Yeah.
I stopped playing that game. No one was playing it with me, so
It didn't look very good.
it seemed like it would have been fun if you were with friends and a little bit drunk,
Yeah.
which is not necessarily the mark of a good game. But it certainly was sad that I had no one to do that with.
Those Ultimate Alliance games though, they've always been rough if you try to play them by yourself. So
They showed Magic Legends, which is a free-to-play MMO from the Perfect World folks who make 10 million of these free-to-play MMOs. They did the Neverwinter one. They did Rune, maybe? They do, like, they have 10 free MMOs going right now.
they had a little teaser at the end of the trailer where it said go to blah 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 dot blah 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 to sign up for the beta. So in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, play Magic Legends .beta / whatever, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense for a website. But I tried to type it in and it didn't work. I tried to Bing it and figure out what the link was for this thing. Didn't work. Couldn't remember anything about the studio that made it, so I'm like, well, I can't go to their website and try to find it that way. There was nothing up at the time for Magic Legends. Like
You actually, did you literally try to Bing it?
Yeah, I did.
Let's see, there's your problem. You would use Google. You tried Google and Magic Legends
Sorry,
beta.
I thought we were running the bit here.
we're getting-
I did use
Okay,
Google.
okay. And Magic Legends beta? You
No.
couldn't. Maybe
There was
the site
nothing-
wasn't up or something.
Yeah, it
that
was,
does seem.
it was
fucked.
only up if you type in that exact website name.
I was just giving you the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to be like, old man Kevin can't find a web address. Stop the presses.
I was contemplating, like, I even went to the main chat for the actual stream of the VGAs.
I'm so sorry.
I know.
There's literally a million people in there.
And I was trying to, like, I was gonna type in, hey, did anybody get that link for the Magic Legends download for signing up for the beta? But then they said follower only chat. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking follow the VGAs for their 1 a year stream.
I think it's in alpha. I think they're saying beta 2020, so maybe you could go sign up for like early alpha or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna be out for quite a while. They showed Maneater. Maneater. A game where sharks eat people.
That looked so stupid.
The beginning of that thing is like it's showing like these pictures of it was shot in such a way that there was someone who has survived a shark attack that would be like, what the fucking fuck is, like, it's people with like arms missing. It was weird, where it's people with like arms and legs missing, and it's like people kill 1 point whatever, however many sharks a year, sharks only kill 5, and it's these 5 people like horribly dying of like getting dragged under. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys. And then smash cut to 50 cuts of just sharks jumping up and eating people on surfboards.
What kind of game is this?
It's a game where you play as a shark and you try to eat people.
You know Goose Game? It's like that, but a shark, and you're in the water.
Is he charming?
No,
I
he
would
doesn't
think
look
not,
charming.
no.
We're on this new era of pick an animal. It's Goat Sim. This is Goat Simulator Manifest.
Sure. All the people who played Goat Simulator finally finished their games.
That's right. Just pick an animal, and maybe it's a great game. I shouldn't shit talk. What they showed,
Goose Game's fun.
yeah, Goose Game does look pretty well made.
Yeah.
That Beaker in Goose Game was just fucking killing me.
Yeah, that was really good.
Holy shit.
That was Beaker, though.
Yeah.
Beaker was making that.
I'd buy that. If that's real, I'll buy that DLC. The shark thing. They didn't really show any gameplay. It looks like all they showed is like the breach of like coming up through the water, like, I'm eating people.
Yeah, I'll play
and like
that.
a little bit of swimming around.
I fucking hate people, so.
It could be a multiplayer game or something. Maybe it's humans versus sharks, or I don't really know. But I think that game exists, and it's called The Deep. I don't know, or Depth, or there's a lot of shark games.
Teeth.
Teeth.
Call
That's
it
a good.
Teeth.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Couldn't call it Jaws. Mouth.
Yeah.
Just mouth.
Mouth.
Yeah.
Mouth of the Deep. Song of the Teeth.
Song. Yes. They showed Naraka Blade Point, a 3D arena fighter out of a Chinese studio, which I think looks fucking shitty as hell. That thing the demo they showed ran at like 4 frames a second. And if you're going to put a video of your fighting game up on stage, you maybe... And again, it's a stream and it's a production, so maybe the game runs fine. It was the footage thing. But again, it looks like a real, like, half-baked...
It's very choppy.
Very, very choppy. It's a weird 3D. It looks like Iron Phoenix, like that old shitty 360 original Xbox fighting game, Iron Phoenix. It's like a 3D space, and you are kind of just out there attacking. It looks like, and like they showed a one-on-one fight, but I get the sense it's meant to be maybe more people in kind of this 3D, kind of like For Honor almost.
I was thinking
if
of
that makes
Rise
sense.
when you were doing this.
Yeah, or Rise, totally.
Yeah.
It did not look very good at all.
Rise wasn't very good.
I think this game just looks, again, from what we saw, the 40-second trailer or whatever, it looks super free to play. I hope it is, and it looks really, really poorly produced from what they showed. Which again, not my fault. Lead with your best foot. If that's what you want to show, that's what we're going to judge you on.
Yep. Somewhere someone's very proud of that trailer they put out.
I mean, listen, you got a trailer up on the VGAs, so regardless of how shitty, like.
They're proud that
what
they
do I say?
got the trailer out in time.
Right.
They're not
Maybe
proud
not of
what
the
it looked
trailer.
like.
Yeah.
They showed something called 9 to 5, which again had a hyper generic. There's so many hyper generic trailers that didn't show any gameplay. This one showed 3 people with guns. Like, well, we're gonna go in and breach. Trailer fades out, and then someone came out.
This
and
was the one where they it looked like it was going to be a Fortnite thing, right? It was like the bunnies and everything.
Yes,
and
right after the Fortnite thing.
Yeah, Fortnite won ongoing game of the year.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
And then they started this with some very visibly Fortnite inspired looking characters, and
But
then
it was like it was bad on purpose, where they're like, we're having fun, shoot each other. Like it was terrible on purpose.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, if you hate Fortnite,
this is the game for you.
And then it's just 3 guys, and one of them shoots the TV, and says, like, what is this fucking so much shit on today, or whatever. And then it's just 3 guys with guns, and they walk out of a room, or it like fades out. You get no information, and a guy comes out, he's like, well, this is our 9 to 5. It's a tactical game. Sign up for our alpha later. And there were a lot of these announcements where, like, title of the game, hyper generic description of like it's an aggressive game. Sign up for our beta.
It's an MMO.
It's an MMO. In a way that, like,
There's countless games.
Shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're up here in front of the biggest stage. Maybe not as big as E3. I don't know. Maybe bigger than E3. Like, to just be. Is it a shooter? Is it a multiplayer game?
I wonder if so many of these people just valued getting the name of their game on this stage to the point where they're like, we have nothing to say about this.
Yeah.
But if they're giving us an opportunity to put 925 in front of some eyeballs, then just slap together whatever we can and ship
That's
it.
sort of how I interpret it too. Right?
It's so generic.
Jeff
Like, it
Keighley
doesn't
comes to your,
Because there's nothing.
But it's not a. It's like now I'm uninterested in 9 to 5. When 9 to 5 comes out, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
I
guess.
think you
don't
are
know.
maybe a little more savvy than a lot of people who watch this stuff, where a lot of people who watch this stuff are probably like, oh, fuck, did you see that?
9-5.
What do
I
you
hate
think of that?
Fortnite. I hate Fortnite.
I fucking despise Fortnite.
Yeah, it felt like they're trading on the "Do you hate Fortnite?" Which
Oh, yeah, totally.
it's a video game built on hate. What the fuck you doing?
Jeff Keighley and his people approach you,
Yeah.
Matt.
Sure.
Talking Reckless, what are they working on?
We got this D&D, this Rolling Reckless thing
Perfect.
that we're.
Let's get it up on the stage.
Well, you
Yeah,
get
and
something real nicely produced.
It's coming on
and-
tomorrow night.
Yeah, great. I'm spending
something up.
the next 47 hours and 59 minutes frantically making this thing as perfect as I can. I'm not just going to come out and show you a D20 and be like, it's the game about dice. Anyway, sign up for our podcast. It's the thing. Later.
Okay, now what if all you had was that D20 thing?
I'd make it
when he
work, man.
asked?
How do you make that look?
I would just have a logo on the screen and be like, Jeff, we got to interview style. You got to ask me some questions here because we got nothing to show.
I don't think so.
You don't have time. You want us to
man.
throw the logo
All
up?
right.
How does
Well,
this game played? With dice?
You just-
fucking bring a dice.
It's
Yeah.
no, that's too specific. I told you what type of game it was. That's sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It's a game about family. It's a podcast about family.
See, that appeals to way more people than a.
Also,
D&D
you have to
dice
hate
game.
Fortnite. So 9 to 5 is theoretically a video game that involves humans. Maybe.
Unconfirmed.
Yes.
Those could have been
rabbits.
androids.
Could be rabbits.
I think it might be a 3-on-3 tactical shooter, and I only say that because there were 3 people in the thing, and they looked like caricature, like a Rainbow Six Siege of like different character classes, and they're gonna.
They had headphones on.
That makes perfect
have headphones
sense.
on, yeah.
Because 3 times 3 is 9.
Oh my god!
Fuck.
Only 5 will win. 9 go in, 5 come out. More than half the field wins. It's pretty cool, actually.
What if it's asymmetrical multiplayer and it's actually 9 people versus 5 people?
Sure.
Yeah.
Then you should be like, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer with 9 on 5.
They don't know
like,
that yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. They literally just have a title like, it might use guns, so let's put those in.
Guess what? They got us talking. So that's
right.
Yeah.
And fucking giving them ideas for how to make their game better.
And as someone who hates Fortnite,
Oh, guns. That's
I'll be
good.
there day one.
They showed No More Heroes 3, which made me think I should probably start playing No More Heroes. I thought No More Heroes 3 looked fucking dope. It was the real, like, I don't know if you saw this trailer, it was real, like, old style anime. It looked like film grain, like 4x3, like Studio Ghibli stuff. With I don't know any of the characters from No More Heroes 3. It was this little bear man or whatever. He's like, I love you, main character or whatever.
Sure. Leaves
Leaves on a spaceship, comes back. It's all modern and retro and like not retro, but like modern, like wide aspect ratio. And this fucking guy shows back up and he's like, hey, it's me. I love you. I'll destroy the planet. And fucking brings out his super lieutenants. And I think he like shoots a giant energy beam or something. It looks really Dragon Ball Z in a way that I can. It looks like Dragon Ball Z, but what if we just got to the part where they went Super Saiyan? What if we just cut out everything in the middle and just turned it to 11?
You fucking got to learn how they get the driver's license.
I should play No More Heroes. Yeah, we need the connective tissue. How are they getting from A to B?
How am I going to care about the fight if I don't know if he's licensed to drive?
No More Heroes 3 looks dope based on that little trailer they showed. They showed Sons of the Forest. This is a big surprise. A sequel to that survival... Well, maybe it's not a sequel. I don't know. A follow-up to that survival crafting game that Kevin and I played cooperatively called The Forest, which I thought looked real dope.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't much to go off of, but it looks like
More forest.
More of the forest.
Yeah.
So.
It looked like it was a little better produced. They were doing like some kind of fancy like cinematic stuff where the old I'm still not tired of it. To look at a thing and camera turns away and turns back and the thing has changed.
Quantum mechanics.
Yes, quantum Joker from Arkham Knight. They showed Surgeon Simulator 2, which they didn't say it, but there were 4 surgeons, so I'm assuming it's going to be a 4-player co-op game. And then they announced The Wolf Among Us 2.
That's probably the moment of the show for me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Except for the
that was
Xbox.
the one moment where, because the show was running so late.
It was like a 4-hour show
And
almost.
I was like, okay, I got to go jump in the shower because I got to go jump in the shower.
Wash
yeah,
this
gotta
filth off me.
I'm a fucking human being.
Sleep naked tonight. I got a shower.
I waited for like one of the breaks to start, one of the ad breaks. And I remember as I was walking downstairs, Matt was on stream talking about how this is such a long ad. And I'm like, thank God I have a long ad to go and take a quick shower, come back and watch more. And I'm pretty sure as soon as I got back, everyone was like, Wolf Among Us 2, Wolf Among Us 2. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
We was talking about Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah, that's multi-layered, right? Because Wolf Among Us 2 is fucking like that's an awesome announcement, but it also tells the return of Telltale Games.
To in a sense, yeah.
Sort of. The desiccated carcass that was Telltale Games is being propped back up.
What's the studio that has them now?
I don't know if Skybound has it all, but I don't know they have the Walking Dead stuff.
Yeah, Skybound just got Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, I think Telltale exists again
In
as a
some
thing
other
called
form?
Telltale.
Right.
I did a little bit of research on Wolf Among Us 2. Some of the same team they said is back, which is good news. Same voice cast, which is
Excellent.
great
Yeah.
for at least Bigby and who's his beau there? Snow, yeah. Same actors for kind of the
That's good.
main 2
The
characters from that
fucking
first season.
Toad's
anyways.
gotta be the same. I like the Toad.
Did Toad make it through the? Is Toad still around?
I think Toad made it, yeah.
I gotta play that first season again.
Yeah, I probably do too.
I watched.
Remember that Glassum? Everyone was sending the Glassum meme around. That like you're like talking to the woodsman,
Right.
and he's like real down on his luck about how he left the whatever. And you guys remember that at all? Where
very-
there's
like, it's
it
on
says
the edge of my
Glassum,
memory, yeah.
but it's like it's in such a way that he's like talking about how, like, oh, well, I was down on my luck, and something about how they gave him a drink, like I just wanted a drink or whatever. It was real nice of him. And now it's all the people in the Discord posting all these stories about how like. And I totally see it because I've watched the video how he's like talking about how like he just wished he had one free drink, and the thing says glass him in a way of like, oh, hand him the glass, which is like right there full of liquor.
Glass.
And you're like, oh, glass him, hand him the glass, and you pick it up. There isn't even a cut. It's like it skips frames because it's like hand on the glass into eye. Like it is so fast and out of nowhere.
I hope that they've like, but amongst the turmoil of what that studio has faced, I hope they found some time to really either develop a new engine or polish up the old engine.
They figure that pipeline out a little better. Walking Dead, the follow up, the finishing of Walking Dead, I thought was very good.
Yeah.
I again, it might be totally different studios because I don't.
The engine was the same. Like, it still had the same look, but from a story sense, it was very. I thought it was very good. Did you finish that, Oliver?
No.
Could be game of the year.
even
It's
start
totally like you should before game of the year. I know there's moments and things up there for it. And who knows the overlap? There might not be any between Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us anymore. Skybound and Telltale.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's more or less all the announcements. Like I said, I didn't pull the name, whatever that red glowing eyes grabbing the stone thing was.
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember what it was. But according to Kotaku.com, that was all the announcements.
And if you can't trust them,
Who can you trust?
that's right.
IGN.
Sydney Goodman hosted. IGN's Sydney Goodman.
How was the show laid out? Because again, like from when I watched it last a couple of years ago, it was the Jeff Keighley show.
He was
Les Keighley.
He was still the guy who did like the big award read-offs of like, here's like 5 awards we're just going to award 5 things in a row. Here are the nominations. Here's the award. Here's the nominations. Here's the award. People didn't come up and get the awards. They were just kind of we don't have time to do the whole
It's really
production.
heavy.
Yeah,
Literally everyone. It's like, oh,
everyone who grabbed
these are
the
heavy.
awards. Yeah, he's heavier than they look. Norman Reedus
Except for Reggie, when he went to pick one up, he just threw it into the ceiling.
juggling 3 of them.
It's a lot lighter than it looks.
But yeah, it was still like a lot of Keighley, but not. I agree with you. I probably enjoyed this show maybe the most out of the ones. My favorite part of those shows the last 2 years are when they read the nominees for Game of the Year and they have the orchestra playing, like going seamlessly in and out of all the theme songs for those. Where like whenever they do that, I'm just like, oh, this fucking game is really good. And then they go to the next one, I was like, oh, this fucking game is really good.
I really love that the medley they did this year.
Yeah.
When they go to the finished tango from Control.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It's so dope.
Yeah, I remember last year when they were doing they did the God of War and Red Dead 2, like lots of good music last year.
Oh yeah, they had a bunch of Red Dead 2 last year. Like, did they just songs from Red Dead 2? I remember they sang Unshaken. The folks came out.
Right. As because they kind of do like musical side acts. Like they did Green Day this year.
Churches this year. Green Day. I thought Green Day was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know. I even kind of like that new song. Yeah. That's not terrible.
I always liked that new song, but Kevin. I did not.
I've never heard that song before.
I did not know it was
until
Green
then.
Day.
That was the only time I heard it. Was
I heard that song probably 5 times on the radio and didn't know it was Green Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would have played that song for me and said guess the artist, I would have never came up with Green Day.
I liked it all. Grimes performed. I don't know. Is she electronic? I don't even know what her genre of music is, but it's like I don't think you could do it live really because like what
was she doing that for? Ghost of Tsushima?
It was Cyberpunk because she was all like in the Matrix and shit.
That makes a lot more sense than Ghost of Tsushima.
I really liked all the music this year. Even that Church's song that I think is the worst song from Death Stranding. Even that was fine. They had literal rain on the stage. Like, it was fucking dope.
That's Timefall.
I'm sorry, they had Timefall on the stage. Yeah. Yes, don't let it touch you.
That's right.
I love the music is like my favorite part. And the game announcements obviously.
Right.
But
I hope that is a trend that I hope they stick with every year.
Totally.
Because as soon as I saw they were doing that again and didn't just do that last year, I'm like, oh, this was my favorite part of the last year's awards.
Very good music. Always incredibly done. I think that's all the more or less all the Game Awards stuff. We might as well just keep trucking right along here with news.
I want to hear.
What do you want to hear?
Brando's finished Sekiro.
Sure, we can
Let's go to that first. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
can talk about games. We're a very free flow show. What do you want to do, Gabe?
Finished Sekiro.
Whoa.
You're a man now.
I'm a man now.
Today's the day.
I would see the day.
I didn't either. I probably 5 times throughout the course of that game, I was like, this is as far as the adventure goes.
Having lived through that arc myself, not with Sekiro, like everybody does that. Their first one of these games that they finish. Mine was like Dark Souls 1, where like, oh, I'm at the Bell Gargoyles, and this game's impossible, so fuck this.
Yeah.
But seeing you go through it every time of like, I'm never gonna beat this boss, and then 2 hours later, like, I beat the boss. Like, yeah.
Specifically because this was the best one, which is funny because it was on the final boss, where I remembered like I can always, when I'm playing Sekiro, feel myself peaking, where I'm like, okay, I'm untouchable right now. I can fucking kill anything. Like I'm not even thinking about it. My reflexes are doing everything. But then I'll come off that after a little while, and I'll have to put the game down because I'm like, I can't see anything coming anymore. I'm dying instantly to
Forgotten
anyone.
how to blink.
Yeah, and this was like I texted Matt because I was like fighting the final boss, and I was
Today's the day.
I was getting further and further and further, and I was like, Eads, I'm gonna beat this boss in the next 2 hours, or I'm probably never gonna beat it because if I come back down off this and don't have this thing, I might never come back. And I got to the fourth and final phase of the boss a few times.
Worth noting that you did the longest, the true ending, quote unquote, with the most bosses.
Right, I did. I beat all the bosses that you can in one run.
That's right.
So this is your experience with the final boss.
This is the final boss, and there's 4 phases, and I got to the fourth a few times, and then all of a sudden, after one round, I could not get past the first phase anymore. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's different. And I sent Matt a message being like, today will not be the day. And then I played probably 2 more after that. And in my second one, I just cruised through them.
It was the day.
And I was like, oh shit, today was the day. And it was like a weight off my back, not just in that boss, but in like, I just don't want to play a hard video game for like a month or two.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's how you do these games, you know? When Sekiro 2 comes out, we'll be in, yeah.
I'll be fucking ready.
Ring of Elden or whatever's next.
Yeah. But there was a lot of bosses along the way where I just look like I would put 2 hours in and not do anything and be like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm done. I guess this is it.
Isn't that like it sucks going through sometimes, but like in retrospect, isn't that kind of incredible that you saw this thing that you're like, there was a very real time playing Dark Souls where I'm like, this is impossible. I will never in my life do this. And look at me now. I've played them all fucking 20 times or whatever.
Like the way you improve, like that you just get better at a boss. You don't put any more extra points into anything. Don't get any new skills. Is crazy to the point
the player
where
gets better.
The second phase of that final boss, I died on them so many times, and it was just like I don't know what any of these moves look like when he's going into them, and then to have those few where you're like, oh, I'm starting to get it, and then by the time you've died on the fourth boss or the fourth phase a bunch of times, you go into that second phase and just like boom, 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 dead.
Let's just get this done on the next one.
And you like, I'll go through that without taking damage, and in my head I'll be like, it's fucked that it was like 2 hours of me dying to this guy without even getting a hit in, and now I can go in and beat him blindfolded.
It's so good.
It's fucking crazy.
That cycle of like, I will never be able to do this to I can totally do this has it sounds a little, listen, I know we can't say change your life because what does that mean, but it really does. It really has changed the way that I have approached problems in my life. Of like for the better.
Yes.
Dark Souls and those Souls games taught me a lot about
just bashing your head into it until it works.
Learning how to learn, kind of. In a way. You know, learning how to learn, right? Learning any skill sucks because you are always bad at it. That's why you're learning that skill. Yeah. Learning is a process we don't enjoy as people for the most part. And
it's just the repetition of it all. Like, it wasn't like I was sitting there with a notepad and being like, okay, whenever he does this, I need to do this. Whenever he does this, I need to do this. But that's like going on in the back workings of your brain to the point where at some point your fingers just take over. Like, I've seen this 100 times. I've died to this 100 times. Now I dodge over left and get a bunch of shots in, and he never hits me with it again.
Must be how it feels to be like a fighting game pro.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just like, because when Sekiro's popping off, it's like you can see the code. You're just like, I am a god. I'm a time lord. You can't fucking touch me.
You can see his like fucking nostrils flare before he does the move and roll between his legs.
Right. It won Game of the Year. We should note here at the Video Game Awards. Their Game of the Year was Sekiro, which shocked the pants off me.
What was it up against?
Death Stranding, Control,
Outer Worlds.
Oh, wow. There's one more because I think there were 5. I can look
Smash.
It up. Smash, yeah. 2018's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
There was a few, like Grease.
Did Grease not come out this year?
No, Grease came out, I think, really late last year, too, and it was up for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it won quite a few as well. Smash didn't win anything, I don't think, but...
No.
Smash won.
Best fighting game.
Yeah, best fighting game.
Right. Smash won best fighting game, and I was offended on behalf of. I don't play those other games. Fuck those. I was offended on behalf of the fighting game community.
Because Dragon Ball Z
Jump Force was on there as well.
Oh, okay.
You're like, I guess well, you know, if Jump Force is a fighting game, then Smash Brothers sure as fuck is a fighting
For some
game.
reason, Warren was telling me about that one because I missed that one, and for some reason he said Dragon Ball Z, and my head went back to Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm like, if
2016's?
I think it was 17.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Years old.
Right, but also January, I think, of 2017, so a long time ago.
Yeah.
My brain went back to that, and I was like, how the fuck did Smash beat Dragon Ball Fighter Z? But I forgot that it was Jump Force, which I did not care about. And
Free
I'm
on Game Pass.
Totally fine with losing.
Did you ever play any Jump Force? I'm
No,
going to check
no.
out Jump Force.
I didn't, but it is free on Game Pass,
Yeah.
so I've never been closer.
So, you're on the other side of Sekiro. You're on
Yes.
the side of
I almost
one
did
of
a New
those
Game
games.
Plus.
Really?
Yeah, but I
What-
didn't.
So New Game Plus is not the thing that makes you take. There's an item you get that makes you take the chip damage.
Okay.
New Game Plus is just more health bars and like more damage and stuff.
Right.
And then there's the Demon Bell, which you
Demon
can,
Bell I know about because
Yeah.
I got it on this playthrough.
Yeah, because you did
I beat the Lady
butterfly with
Butterfly.
the Demon Bell on, you fucking
Yeah,
madman.
before I had done proper research into what the Demon
Yeah.
Bell did, I made that fight significantly harder than it needed to be.
Super hard.
Yeah.
And then there's the charm. The charm, if you I don't know, you either give the charm or keep it. I don't know. You do something with the charm.
You get
Kuro's
the charm only on New Game Plus?
I don't know. I think you can get it on your first playthrough, maybe. I'm not actually sure.
Oh.
For sure you can get it on New Game Plus, but the charm is the thing that makes you take damage when you block. So if you do want hard, but just don't want that block thing, there are options.
Ways to do that?
Yeah. I'm gonna go through again, and we're doing New Game Plus right now. I want to try and see the other path because I guess there is one boss that you don't see on
yeah.
that far path.
Right.
Fight the doctor lady you were telling me. That seems wild.
I think you fight the doctor. I'm not.
Does she have a
100%
sword? What do you just
positive.
fucking cut her?
She's got like maybe one of those like a wooden stick sword, like one of those training swords almost.
Oh, yeah. Just beats the shit out of
fucking
you.
Bonks you on the forehead with
Yeah.
it.
My
Slaps your wrist.
my follow up and probably final question
Yes.
is: are you into these games now? Like,
No, like I said to Matt, I was like, I'm down for another Sekiro when they make another Sekiro, but my least favorite parts of this game were still the genre based parts. The part where it's like, sometimes you get to a really hard part in the game where the save point is not right there, and having to do a bunch of runs at a boss, but also
having
get back to him every
that
time
fucking
you die.
sucks.
Yeah,
That is my least. Sekiro and Dark Souls 2 are particularly bad for that. Particularly. But it seems like as the series go on, they at least make that. I don't know why it's so bad in Sekiro. Sekiro, like, as I'm playing through New Game Plus, like, after you were complaining about it, I'm going through, I'm like, this is fucking brutal.
yeah.
It's not that bad in Bloodborne. You should really play Bloodborne.
But and then the other reason is why, and Matt's explained it this way too, but I've played enough of the beginning of all those games to kind of get it.
Yeah.
Where it's the combat style in Sekiro is what I'm looking for in one of those games. In a stand in there, deflect everything, parry everything.
You can also
hit your counter
roll.
blows.
You can roll if you
can
want.
roll. You can dodge and roll.
Yeah.
You can fucking sprint away in circles, which I had to do against that final boss a lot.
You can do
because
all
I was
that stuff
terrified
in,
of all his attacks.
You can do all that stuff in Dark Souls as well.
Right, but
You
I
just don't get your stamina back.
Right, but I don't want to do any of it if I didn't have to, except for the fucking parry, like the standing there with
Yeah.
your sword and parry. So there was a boss, the Demon of Hatred.
Demon Hatred, is that right?
Demon of Rage, maybe.
Yeah, whatever he is. Big man.
Big flaming guy who is very different than almost every boss you face in Sekiro. Like most bosses you face in Sekiro are kind of your size and doing a bunch of attacks that you're trying to parry. This is very much a Souls style boss where it's like, don't bother parrying. He's going to fucking waste you. You're more kind of getting around his legs and running around and trying to roll around stuff. And he was easily my least favorite boss, which I know is a much more Souls style, and it is much more not what I'm into.
It's very...
Those Souls bosses are like that in a way that no
But
Sekiro boss is like
They
that.
are also designed to be like that, so they will
Right.
have like attacks and things that take advantage. Sekiro is very much, or not Sekiro, Souls are very much designed to be played with...
Circle strafe.
Circle strafe, totally. Unless you're doing like a different build where you're blocking more or
Right.
something. But the bosses are all totally designed to take advantage of that. Except for some of the ones in the original Dark Souls 1. The remaster, they fixed it all. But in the original Dark Souls 1, there's a few bosses where you can literally just circle strike faster than they can move. And they
Yeah.
can't fucking touch you.
Yeah.
But they're very different. You would have to... The hardest thing would be Like Bloodborne would be, there is none of that blocking. It is very close to Sekiro, but you would have to unlearn every single thing you learned in Sekiro in a way that, like, that was the hard part for me going to Sekiro. Was like, I've played too much of these other games. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't block all the time. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You move so slow.
Yes.
It would be tough.
Yeah. No, I really like Sekiro. I'm not saying like I might go give them a shot, but I really liked what Sekiro was about in a way that those other games lost me.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
I totally understand it.
Even before I broke through that wall, there is a reason I came back and bashed my head against the Sekiro wall 3 times. Whereas those other games, I was like, I'm not really having enough fun to, like, once I stopped, I never had that voice in my head being like, you were kind of having fun with that. You should go back and see if you can get into that. In a way that Sekiro, the voice in my head was always like, when you were killing stuff, you were fucking loving that game.
Now that you've had your first taste in a few months, that dark urge might come back. You never know.
Maybe I just need something, or maybe I'll just play Sekiro again.
You maybe just play Sekiro again.
Well,
it's
going
fucking
forward,
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Going forward, that voice in your head is like, you had a lot of fun.
You try. You think going forward, you might try, like, say Dark Souls 4 ever comes out. Would you try Dark Souls 4?
Yeah.
Well,
again, that's a Souls one. Right? That's a different genre.
Yeah, it's like it feels like
it's like if you don't like Battlefield, you're not gonna like any of the Battlefields.
I mean, the point is, I buy them all.
Also, you own every single one. So if you ever want to.
It sounds like this developer builds upon its last one in
usually
in very
sometimes
very
they go totally because it went Bloodborne back to Dark Souls 3 then to Sekiro.
Yeah, like it feels like
so they go.
Feels like Dark Souls is easily my least favorite in terms of the style.
Yeah.
And if they put out a Dark Souls 4, it will be taking the parts of Sekiro that I don't like and putting it with combat that I like significantly less. So who's to say?
They're very different. Very different games. Different.
Who's to say? I'm gonna buy. Like if it's Dark Souls, I'm gonna buy.
You'll own
I'm not gonna go through my life not owning Dark Souls 4.
Obviously,
but I might go through my life without playing Dark Souls 4.
When Ring of Elden comes out, I hope it's like I hope it's actiony in a way that grabs you. That's the George R. R. Martin from software.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You have to now.
I would love someone to play these games with, like, as they're coming out, because like half the fun is when they're new and you're like trying to feel like, well, maybe we can try this item on this boss, or maybe something. Did you find this thing over here? Like, I love that discovery aspect to it as well. It's super fun.
I like that, but I will say, and this will come up a lot in Game of the Year, so prepare your defense. I hate the...
It's not winning. I got it.
It is a better chance than it did.
Cleared of all charges.
I hate the, like, obscurity to see through the entirety of that game.
Yeah.
If you call, like, the end... like the good ending or the best ending or the ending that requires the most work to see all the bosses except for one, but it's fucking totally insane fucked. In a way that I would never do it on myself, and I would have missed a lot of the content that I enjoyed in that game. Like the second owl fight was one of my favorite boss fights in that game, and you would have missed them
if I didn't send you that yet.
Right. Yeah.
Sekiro's the only one of their games that's ever done that, so maybe
and then
Ring won't be the same.
And then I thought the ending to go along with the story was incredibly unfulfilling in a way where it was like 3 lines of dialogue at the end and fade to black.
Oh, yeah, that's those games.
Okay,
you have to like you got to read item descriptions, and I watch a little video after the fact, and I'm like, tell me. I go through the game and enjoy the boss fights and things, and I'm like, okay, tell me the lore.
And I'll probably do that. Yeah,
I haven't looked at the Sekiro lore. I bet it's like they are rich and super deep in a way that if you watch some of those breakdown videos, you're like, holy shit.
And even the way it, like, I gathered all the items you needed for the best ending, but after you kill the final boss, it brings up a little menu being like, give this guy this one thing, or give this guy this one thing and this thing, or give him this thing and this thing. And I had to look up on the internet being like, what am I supposed to give him to get? It's like, how do I use all this work that I put in properly?
It's the beginning of Kingdom Hearts of like, do you like to get up in the morning or the night? It's the end of Persona 4 where it's like, what's your favorite suit of cards? Clubs? You lose. You don't get to see the ending.
In my general,
it's all that shit.
In my general defense of Kingdom Hearts, at least they put that at the beginning before you put in 30 hours of gameplay.
They warn you what you're in for.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you finished Sekiro. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
I look forward to that game being our game of the year this year.
That final boss was a real son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's hard.
I fucking hated him.
He's fun though. I like the challenge.
Yeah, I liked him better than the Demon.
Demon sucks. Demon's my least favorite one also.
Yeah. Fuck him. He was an optional. I didn't know until after I beat him.
Yeah. I'm glad you did him though. There's an item you can have that makes him a little bit easier. Yeah, you need a certain whistle.
Yeah, I got the whistle. I was using that.
I didn't write any games down, but I'm sure I played games. We're still playing Persona 5 on my end. Fuck, is that game long?
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokers. They're still good.
Still good.
Still fine.
Just for Anime Zone.
I turned the combat down to easy and kind of don't have to do it anymore, and I'm honestly having a much better time.
On that note, and not to backtrack, I still say that Sekiro should have some sort of accessibility.
Get out of here,
option.
normie. Get out of here with that shit.
Like, on one end, I'm like,
if you don't have two very well young working hands, you fuck off.
Well, and not even from a, like, you may not physically be able to compete on that difficulty, but
Which
even
a lot of people will physically not be able to like press the button fast enough, I bet.
But then even for people who are totally able enough, like, I think putting in a lower difficulty so people can enjoy the game you made is totally fine.
I think without, like you say, like without the difficulty, like this just going through and seeing the story, you'd be like, this
No, absolutely, this was not a very good story.
Yeah, no, I know. But I think it's a good story. It's just not. You got to dig it out. It's like the codexes in Destiny. There's a great story there. You just got to go fucking find it yourself.
I guess. Well, you still wouldn't talk about Destiny's good story.
I might. I did a little bit. I did.
Maybe
good
stuff
lore.
I read. Maybe
good lore. That's what we should say. Yes, good lore.
Yeah. That said, if they would have given me a lower difficulty, I would have taken it real early. So.
And then you wouldn't have this great experience. You know, you have to struggle.
I might have.
Part of it.
I might have. It would have been like regular hard.
It's part of it. Or you might have finished. You would just finish it and been like, I don't know what the big deal is. I still would
have died 100 times.
Make it hurt so good.
Yeah, it was good. I'm very happy for myself for having finished it. It's probably the hardest video game I've ever beaten in my life. So far. Now you, just like me, you're hooked. Yeah, we're in. You're just taking. I had this journey when I was in Grand Prairie. Yeah, all by myself with Dark Souls. Yeah, it was great.
Persona 5, very long, but I think we're coming up on the end. I think we're pretty close. The hour counter in game only says 71 hours, but it doesn't account for wipes or like. I spent a lot of time. I had gotten through a maze you have to get through, and then saved and forgotten. So when I started playing most recently, I just ran back into the maze, which is already solved. So I thought I couldn't solve it because I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? For like an hour until someone's like, didn't you do this last time? Oh shit. It's I like Persona. I'm not gonna max out all my social links by the end, which I'm a little bummed about. That's kind of the thing I like doing, is spending time with my dumb high school friends.
Best part of the game?
The part I enjoy the most? Yeah. I don't know. What is best?
That's the part
as we get the game of the year, what is best?
Yeah.
I'm not going to max them all out, unfortunately. I think it's impossible at this point. Just where the you kind of know what day the game, or roughly what date the game will end on.
Sure.
And I'm in November. I think we have till like, there must be February, because people keep talking about a Valentine's Day thing. So maybe there's time. I'm also dating 5 or 6 different women.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Listen, the term woman is just, some of them are like, I'm only 17 in the game. I believe the youngest of my girlfriends is 16. I believe the oldest of my girlfriends is 37.
Oh,
wow.
And also my homeroom teacher, who gives me special massages. She's not actually my girlfriend. Ms. K just gives me special massages.
Sure.
Comes to my house in her. Doesn't work at the maid place anymore, but still wears the maid outfit for a reason I can't understand. I'm like, you do not need to.
I mean, you should understand.
I think I know
what's going on.
You do not need to. She said she wasn't interested in any funny business. Yeah. I even broached the subject, and I was like, so when we say special massage, what we really mean is, she's like, nope.
I'm just gonna put on my maid outfit.
Yeah, and is like doing real like little therapeutic massage.
Yeah,
like, a little bit of tension here in the shoulder blades. Like, you're telling me, Miss K.
Yeah. It's all that homework you give me.
Yeah, but I'm dating a drunk reporter who is like literally a drunk reporter.
That's the one you want.
I tried to date this older, like, she's not old, she's probably like in her mid 20s or 30 or whatever, but an adult woman, not a school kid. Tried to date this doctor who was like,
talk about, like, what's the phrase?
Scumbag?
No, batting out of your league.
Oh yeah.
And you're hitting homers apparently.
Only that's all I. Well, I didn't hit the homer with Punk Rock Doctor. It was my first. This was the one I wanted. I was going to be a one. I'm usually in these games, I'm a one romance man, and that was going to be my romance. But there's a series of oblique questions that if you don't get perfect, she tells you to go fuck yourself. And she used my horniness against me, and I didn't realize she was joking. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we. Give you a little time. Let's go get a little physical in the back room or something. She's like, "Oh, you young kids or whatever." I'm like, wow, that was, well.
Strikeout, swing and a miss.
But anyway, the first time I met her, she just pulled me off the street and was like, are you a school kid? Try this drug I invented.
Yeah.
And it knocked me out for like, she roofied me. It knocked me out all day.
Yeah.
All day. And then
You have her pants when you got back home?
I did. And I just woke up and she was like, oh, heck, I'm doing some tests here. Why don't you come back later? We'll try some new drugs.
Underwear was on backwards though.
Yeah, it was really weird. My shoelaces. But I'm doing okay. You know, the shogi player, she's not allowed to date, her mom says, but I think I might have time. We might be able to sneak one more in there. It's fine. It's fun. I don't know.
Sounds like
there was a question when we played Push the Button. What do we call it? The fucking space alien shithead
alien,
game or whatever.
Find the aliens.
There was a question about, it was, do you love anime? Strongly agree, slightly disagree. It was the agree, disagree, strongly, slightly.
Yeah.
And I put, okay, this would be for Kevin and Oliver to see if they think I'm an alien or not. My answer to do you love anime was slightly agree. And I did, in the game you do get to defend yourself. So my defense was, I've watched the most popular anime. I've watched Dragon Ball Z. I've watched Full Metal Alchemist.
You don't know it?
I've watched Castlevania. I don't know if that counts. I've watched the popular ones. I haven't watched like the Cowboy Bebops of the world, which is apparently super popular as well. I haven't watched the Hero Academias. There's lots I haven't watched. I'd say I slightly love anime.
Naruto?
I haven't even watched Naruto. And I just say it like I'm Japanese, I guess. I don't know. Put the emphasis on the middle syllable. And all these guys would just, no. He loves that fucking anime. He's got his body pillows. And like, just the witch hunt started up in a way. But unfortunately, Brandon was the alien, the one person I needed.
So I was like, he fucking loves anime way more than he's saying.
And just got the fucking machine fired up. Which really called me back to when we played down here. And it was like, a country I'd like to learn more about, Japan. It was like, oh, it's about alien. Yeah. I'm like,
game,
listen, I'm not full.
game.
I don't fully identify as a weeb, you know. I just like good television, even if it's animated.
That game damn near tore us apart.
Yeah, we played that game on. You want to talk about that? We played the Jackbox.
Yeah.
We only played 2 games. We played
the making the jokes, and we did the weird like personality test ones for people, and then we did the
Push the Button. Yeah, it's a game we played for our little 300 celebration. Go watch the VOD on the Talking Reckless YouTube if you haven't seen it. 2 teams. Nobody knows who's on which team, and you have to kind of answer questions, suss out who's the aliens, who's the humans. Yeah, that game. We
were very drunk. Worth noting.
Yeah, I wasn't drunk enough. I think it was my problem.
Sure.
I was still on the like. If one person in the game just decides they don't want to play it, like the game is over, it ruins the game.
I don't think it was deciding not to play. It was deciding to try some real Hail Mary strategy.
Well, no, those also happened, but sometimes some of the people we're playing with would like just not understand the game in a way that they'd be like, this is I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I will jump back in next round and try to wrap my head around this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm just gonna put my hands up.
Yeah.
But then we still played the last 15 minutes of it, even though like once one person doesn't vote, it's literally impossible to win because it has to be unanimous.
Yeah.
And yes, we did try some real Hail Mary strategies, which involved me
getting very mad.
Someone, because I was just out there preaching, and someone blindly accused me, but in the first round, no information, literally no information. It is impossible to tell unless you've like seen their phone or something.
Right. That's what I thought had happened.
So did I. Somebody blindly accuses me. They're like, Matt, you are an alien.
They hit the button. We hadn't run with a single test.
Yep, immediately hit the button. They're like, Matt, you're an alien. And for the record, I was human, and so is this person accusing me. And I'm like, why would you think you can't know I'm an alien? It's physically impossible for you. He's like, no, trust me. I know you're an alien. Trust me, you guys. Trust me. Vote him out right now. Like, okay, you're misunderstanding, because if you vote wrong, we lose. It's not like we get more chances. The game ends. So let's not just end the game right now. He's, no, trust me. I'm like, okay.
Meanwhile, me, an alien, and I'm like, Matt, trust him.
Yeah.
Trust this guy.
So as this
There's
person,
probably a logic here.
As this person is saying that, I'm like, okay, either you're an alien and this is a wild strategy, or if you made a mistake and you're a human, now is the time to speak up. Literally right now, because the strategy you're taking makes no sense. And if you are a human, blindly accused, I will never play this game with any of you again.
I don't know how we all got roped in, but
and I mean it. And I, to this day, it was only a few days ago, so I'm still sort of fucking. But yep, we're just both humans. And his logic was like, one alien obviously always gives themselves away, and it didn't make any sense. It was the liquor. The liquor was probably talking. This is also a person who had played this game before as well and knew how it was played. I don't know. It got serious in a way where I'm like, you need to tell me right fucking now if you fucked up. Like right now. This ship is heading off a cliff.
Yep.
We can turn it around, but you got your foot on the gas. You're just trust me, you guys. And no, just drove us off the cliff.
Yep.
Away we went. We also had things where like people were swearing on their parents and being like, no, I'm not gonna listen. If I swear on my mom, I'm not gonna lie. And like, well, okay,
because
let's not do that because why don't we just fucking show our phones and shit?
that was like when they were doing that. I was like, you're breaking the game.
Totally.
If everyone just swears on their parents, we don't have to play the game. Everyone just put up their hand and be like,
let's just show our
I swear
phones.
on my mom. And then the two people who won't swear. So I was the one who took the bold step into being like, I swear on my mother I'm not an alien, even though I was an alien.
Yeah, we didn't. We shut.
I was like, I'm going to take this whole swearing on people thing, turn it right back at you. And then I was clear. Like that first round, those two guys didn't like, they were fucking with me because they're like, no one would do that. No one would do that.
No one.
No one would do that.
Yeah, I don't. It ruined the game for me. It ruined the game. There's a lot of ways to play that game that make it super not fun.
Yeah.
In a way that like, there's a lot of ways to play that game that make it super not fun. I don't want to be vindictive and point fingers or anything, but
everyone has a right way to play.
Sure.
And everyone thinks their right way to play is the right way to play.
And again, I don't think I have a right way. I just think there are ways that actively make the game completely pointless. Like we just show our phones right now. What are we even doing?
Right.
And anytime one of those comes up, like why don't we listen? It's the let's play poker for fun thing of like, I can't ever. If we're playing poker for no stakes, I'm all in every hand.
Right.
I can't play poker for fun. I'm just not that type of person. If we're gonna sit down and play, if we're gonna sit down and play a game, let's play a game. If we just want to bullshit and chat, we can do that. We don't have to come all the way over here and fucking plug in this laptop and download all this shit for us to just fun around.
Right. We're here to fuck. We're playing.
I'm here to fucking play. That's exactly fucking right. I realize how it's coming off, but there were 2 out of 5 who were just adamant that we could not play that game. But at the same time, that was the only game we could play. So it was, yeah.
Was this the same night that Warren went through the wall? Can you please tell me that story?
Tells itself.
Man went through the wall.
Like, did he trip over his pants around his ankles?
He fell. He says not because of alcohol, which
it's pretty early in the night.
It was pretty early in the night. I tend to believe him. I'm sure the alcohol didn't help, but he fell forward, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, are you okay?" And then he got up and immediately fell backwards into the wall.
Oh, fuck.
Everybody started laughing. I was like super concerned. I was like, "Are you? What is happening?"
It was funny the first time.
What is happening?
We were worried the second time.
Yeah, and he went right through the drywall.
But then, like I said, he didn't. Like he got up, and I was like, "I've seen you way drunker than this, not falling. So you're probably not that drunk."
After the people downstairs were giving us the shut. We got a few in a way that I'd never heard before.
New fucking under basement neighbors or something?
We must have. Because the other ones,
people
they
don't.
might have been deaf. The last ones.
One of them was at like 9:30. One of them was like early in the night on a Friday. I'm like, okay, shut up. Granted, yes, Andy is tapping out on the floor to some submission hold or something, but
banging on the floor. Yeah, maybe
people.
Banging on the floor.
No, it's like anytime you step onto the balcony from the house or like fucking grow up, you guys. It's like you live in a shit ass apartment. Of course, you can hear everything.
We almost put a guy through the fucking neighbor wall, and they didn't complain once.
Yeah, not a peep out of those folks.
And let me tell you, those downstairs neighbors are gonna have a fucking rude awakening come WrestleMania day.
Fuck.
If they last that long.
Yeah.
Those are all the games I played.
Well, I just want a few more follow-up questions on this. Warren says hole in your wall. Like,
go ahead.
Broken ass drywall.
Yeah, have you seen the picture?
No,
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, we got a picture.
It's nothing. It's like punched. It's like caved in. Yeah.
Yeah, not even a solid point section of the drywall.
Do you guys know how to fix that?
One of them is one of the people there's adamant that he knows how to fit the whole name. Oh no, I can do this in 10 minutes, guys. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll bring some paint swatches. We can do the one of our buddies is adamant he can fix that in no time at all.
Okay.
Well, it's just like that one party at our friend's house where he was dancing in his kitchen and did a dance move and kicked through the drywall.
It happens, man.
It happens to everyone.
Drywall's really fragile. The drywall in my apartment at home is leaking water as we speak.
But he busted out the drywall putty and the paint and patched it up with a piece of white paper and then just painted over top of it.
Just don't ever touch that spot again.
Just don't ever touch that spot again.
Probably fucking. This was probably patched. The one more line was probably patched with paper. That's how this whole thing happened.
Yeah, absolutely. He got up in he was super apologetic to me when he got up. As his roommate, and I just said to him, it could have been either one of us.
Just roll the dice, right?
At this point,
honestly,
we've been here for a couple years. I'm surprised we don't have more holes in the walls.
Yeah.
Kev, you play any video games?
I put a couple more hours into Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I got.
How's it going?
Which Star Wars?
I'm on to
The
Jedi
Star Wars.
one.
yeah.
Fallen Order.
Oh,
The
I'm sorry.
important Star
I'm sorry.
Wars.
For some reason, I was like galaxies of heroes or galaxies or.
I'm back on Dathomir now
Okay.
You got the
for story stuff.
thing to progress, the upgrade you need to.
Probably, maybe, I don't know.
To meet a man with no shirt.
Maybe.
Older guy.
He says, "I hate shirts," and rips his shirt off.
You might have actually met him when you came for your first not essential trip. So
Oh, maybe.
yeah.
I have the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then
Okay.
You're getting there.
So
Yeah.
you're well into Dathomir then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how much more of the game there is.
You're well over half, I'd say.
Yeah, you're definitely getting there.
That's good. That's good.
Maybe 25% left, something like that. 30%.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's a strong.
yeah, the back
I
end
think the
is
back end moves.
fucking strong.
Yeah.
Like some of the best stuff is in that last 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't know because there was a couple weeks where I didn't get a chance to play at all, and I think that time away is really gonna influence the way that I think about this game, just because I kind of don't remember everything that was happening when I went back, and I'm like trying to figure out why I'm in some sort of arena or something, and I'm like,
So that even in
Is that
the
when you jump back
context
in?
of the game,
yeah,
that's
that's
like
exactly
arena?
when I
Yeah.
jumped back in.
was super never well
was
explained.
the meditation point directly before that fight.
Gotcha.
So I
really
came
like that
back
fight.
in and then progressed 4 feet through a hallway, and then it's like, and now the arena fights begin. I'm
And
like,
you're just
wait, what?
What planet am I on?
I don't
Where am I?
remember anything
There's
about
like-
being told to go fight in an arena.
There's an offhanded like line that the pilot says while you're fast traveling one time that explains why you end up in the arena.
There's also a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in the codec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because when we got
I
back
was
to the
reading
ship, the pilot was like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you missed the line where he's like
What?
set it up. Yeah, those are those bounty hunter folks that you meet. There's some group of bounty hunters or something.
"Yeah,
I don't think that's a spoiler or anything to
No.
say.
no, yeah, I,
And I guess they,
that's right. I did get captured by them.
I
Yeah.
think they capture you or something
yeah."
and
As
make
I
you
was-
fight
Yeah.
because that equals money.
Yeah,
I guess I don't
something
know.
like that,
So
yeah.
maybe
It's gonna be running like a Thor Ragnarok kind
Yeah.
of fucking.
people pay a lot of money to see a Jedi fight. I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played a couple more hours of that. I got my heart kill in Slay the Spire with the other two classes, the Ironclad and the
Silent.
Silent. So I got all 4 classes. I got my heart kill.
You've done it. You've fully slayed the Spire.
It's them.
Well, they're still getting up to
That game was up for
Ascension 20
mobile game,
difficulty.
maybe. That game was up for something at the VGAs.
Yeah, it was.
It was a nomination. for
Best
something.
best indie
Yeah.
studio game.
Surprised. Is Kojima Productions not an indie studio? Is that not Kojima's independent?
They won it.
The rule was it had to be their first released game ever. Was
Outer
what-
Wilds was up for that one too.
what you needed
Well,
to
Death Stranding is
qualify.
Kojima Productions' first release game ever, so
Good
So
point.
it could have been out.
And what could
Could
be
have been
more
out.
independent than one man?
Yeah.
No.
that's what I'm saying.
One man with a multi-million-dollar budget and
That's right.
a team of people working underneath him. But
Well,
in,
you know,
in the end,
Yoji-
it's really all just one man.
Yoji Shinkawa drew a lot of. He lifted a lot of his designs from Metal Gear.
If you listen to interviews with him, he's the only person who worked on that game.
He is,
So-
100%.
What won that category?
The best indie game?
Grease.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was Grease.
Yeah.
I got a hair stuck in my mouth. There it is.
A little mustache in the mouth.
But yeah, I played a little bit more Slay the Spire. And there was a Magic event for Magic Arena going on during the VGAs. For like, there was two set decks. You could pick one deck or the other, and those decks had some Power 9 cards in them. They were just some pretty fun decks to play.
I saw our Black Lotus in Magic Arena.
I was freaking out because I didn't know why they had a picture of the Black Lotus in like the new borders, and
you don't get to keep them, do you? They're just to use.
Just to use for the event. But
I wonder if they would ever come to. That would probably make nerds mad for some reason.
yeah,
that would like
nerds would be
devalue
mad.
the real Power 9 somehow or something.
What doesn't make nerds mad?
nothing.
No, never mind. Nope.
Can't
You
say
almost
that.
went to the wrong side.
But yeah, so that's really all I played. Just a bunch of Star Wars.
I love that game.
As a nerd, I'm pretty mad about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I saw a fucking scene from Rise of the Skywalker. I was so close, a week out. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just saw a link, and I mean, in my defense, it wasn't tagged properly how it should have been as a spoiler, but I all the same, I saw the Star. I'm like, oh, Star Wars, click. I'm like, oh no.
What is that bit they released for Fortnite? Is that how that footage is out there?
That's what I think it must be.
Yeah.
Has anyone else watched it?
No, I'm not.
I haven't seen anything.
I'm still blind. I haven't seen a thing
I've watched,
about the movie.
Yeah, I've watched the trailers though. One of the trailers was one of my favorite trailers I've ever watched for a movie.
I like watch them after.
Yeah.
It's just so close. We're seeing it like a week from today podcast time.
Yeah.
So we just like 7 days, just an inch from the finish line, I fell on my face.
Yeah.
Fell right on my goddamn face.
Yeah.
I think we'll just power through here, folks. Do some news and maybe get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
need to take a break.
It's been a long day of broadcasting today.
I have one more game that I don't need to talk about much, but I finished Life is Strange 2.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
yeah.
I want to have a little talk about it.
Yeah, I liked it more. I think a little bit more than you did.
Yeah, I was pretty cool on the whole thing.
Yeah, it pales in comparison to the first one.
I agree.
The first one had a lot going for it in terms of even all of us kind of being into it at the same time, which I think adds this artificial fun to it. Like,
and it took 15 months for the whole thing. It was a year
Yeah.
and 3
whereas
months.
this feels
Which is fucking
this will
long.
be inside a year, right? Like the first episode of this came out this year.
2 was 15 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, two was over a year. It took a
Jeez.
super long
And
time.
the first one was a lot more compact, right?
I do not remember the first one, but I feel like it was
I feel like this one
within
was
12
long.
months. This
Like,
one was
I've-
super long because it was like 3 to 4 months between every episode.
Gotcha.
So there were some. I think I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I misspoke about the game where I thought it like canonized the ending for the first game, like defined like this is what happened.
Right.
Forgot that a year and 3 months ago you choose at the beginning of that game, did in Life is Strange 1 did this happen or did this happen?
Yeah.
Completely forgot that because
Yeah.
it was 15 months ago.
Yeah. Because there is a moment in one of those early episodes where you go to the town.
Yeah.
Like you see the town
Yeah.
from the first one. And
There's
that-
a couple callbacks later too.
Right.
Which I did not like. Actually, all those things that were in there, I'm like, yeah, okay. It's the like
Like the person who shows up. Is that what you're talking
the
about?
person who showed up I did like,
Okay, me
but
too.
the extra periphery
Yeah.
about it's just so like,
It's
hey,
tough
you really
because-
like the first game, huh?
It's tough because we have different endings.
Check this out.
So based on my ending, maybe I didn't get any of that. Like
Yeah.
I don't remember a whole lot from the first game coming into my game.
Yeah.
Based on my decision to have Chloe die.
And they change a lot of shit. Well, they don't change stuff, but like some people made it out of the town. Not everybody. Like my ending, I blew the town up, and the consensus in Life is Strange 1 is only Chloe and Max survive, or everybody else. Or no, I guess just Chloe. Chloe dies, or everybody dies. But they sort of that's not really what happened in my ending. Some
Right.
people made it out.
I think
You
it
hear
just says
stories
save
about
the town, right?
Yeah.
When they're asking you the
Yeah, did you save the
choice,
town or
so-
destroy the town?
Right.
But I don't know. It was too close to Death Stranding, maybe, where it's like, you like Metal Gear, huh? Check all this shit out. It's like, oh, you like Life is Strange 1, huh? Check all this shit out right at the end of the game that I'm not enjoying. But what if I showed you a picture of Chloe? Are you having fun now? And I kind of was, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Best part of the game.
Chloe.
I really liked. I don't know if we're talking about the same part, but there's a thing that I messaged you about, an obvious character moment.
Yeah.
That,
It's all around that character.
where that stuff is kind of the biggest link to that first game.
That I actually
And
really
I was
did like.
super into
Because I had
it.
this, like, it was a totally organic process. I'm like, oh, that's same. Wait, that's not. No. Yeah, it was good shit.
It's a good moment. I liked my ending
Mm-hmm.
and did the research to kind of figure out how much ending, and it seems like there's kind of four four big
Main ones,
endings,
yeah.
and then there's kind of little tweaks on it that will just have a different character show up or something. But I got the ending that on paper when I was looking at it I liked the best. So I think that
like
always
my end.
yeah,
It was okay.
yeah.
We got different ones.
And on like I said, on paper, I liked it the best. Maybe if you actually saw them all in action, I'd be like, oh, that's a pretty good ending.
I don't know what it is about. I think just the scope of it is too. You're not experiencing this like tight like, well, because with Life is Strange like a year or like 8 months, or it's not very much. Like you're living through these characters' lives with them, whereas in
It's short, right? Because it's like one semester of school.
yeah, it's really
and
close
then
together.
It culminates at like a prom or whatever. I don't remember.
Life is Strange 2, like without getting too spoilery, covers a much broader scope in a way that like I don't know any characters' names or what they've been doing.
So-
and like
You think that's-
I'm not connected to anybody in that game except for the main character because you spend all your time with them.
I struggled with character names too, and being like, where did you come from again? And I think that's very much because you always had the same characters in that first one.
Yeah.
Like it was those same people that kept showing up. Whereas this one, because
But I don't think
by
it's a bigger
nature-
cast or anything.
No.
Too. I think it's a much smaller cast.
I think
actually.
the problem with this one is by nature of the story they're trying to tell, you are on the move.
Yeah, you're
so
traveling
it doesn't
across
make
the
sense for
America.
characters to kind of stay with
That's
you.
fair, and it's over like such a longer period of time. That
Right.
I do sort of understand that.
But in terms of the scope of like the scope of this story is much smaller in terms of you're not
the
going
impact,
you're
is
not
much
going
smaller,
to potentially murder hundreds and however many people are in.
Spoilers!
Yeah.
That'd be a dope ending.
Right.
That's maybe that's kind of what I wanted.
Kill
Were the two
everyone on the
extremes
west
of
coast
like,
of America.
yeah, let's make a supervillain. Let's make a that would be dope, man. If Life is Strange 2 was a supervillain origin story, but it's actually a very like thoughtful discussion on.
Well, it sounds like on some of those endings you can infer that maybe you've created a bit of a monster.
Yeah, a little
but they
bit.
do not show the.
You don't get the payoff. That
No, you
want.
don't get the payoff. So, yeah, like I kind of liked that this was not about saving the world
Yeah,
or even the town.
Yeah,
like this
I
was
could.
about two people on the run.
it's just about two people I didn't care about. One of them I actively dislike Daniel.
And I think-
I don't like kids, and I really don't like this shit ass video game kid.
I think the way that like his morality plays into the end of that game, in a way that I think it actually maybe was intentional to make that kid just not likable. That maybe you were fine with
Being a little flippant with them,
being
and
shitty to him, and
yeah. I also I understand where it's all coming from. It just
Right.
did not click
no,
for me. At
I'm the
all.
same way. Like he was actively annoying me, and I had to like step back and be like, maybe he's actively annoying me in the sense that your little brother probably often actively annoys
That's
you.
what it
but-
reminded me of in a way that was too real.
Yeah.
Like every episode's the same arc as well of like, here's Daniel. Okay, Daniel's cool because we started an episode, and
Yeah.
which means something exploded, and
Right.
he's like, oh man, I gotta be careful.
And then Daniel-
1 minute later
shitty.
is Daniel irresponsibly using his fucking powers, being a shithead, and
Yeah.
you're like, dude, do you not remember what happened last episode?
Yeah, it's like the Atreus arc 5 times.
Yes, and by the third time, you're just like, okay, are we really?
I thought we left ourselves in a place where you understood that my word was good for you. You seemed happy with it, and now you've turned on me again at
Every
the beginning
time.
of this episode.
And like similarly to that, it feels like not every, but a lot of the antagonists you're running into per the episode is like, really, we're doing this exact same. I guess like it is important to the story, and
Right.
and I don't want to.
There's a lot of political,
yes.
like racial overtones.
It's easy
of that
as a
story,
28-year-old white man to sit here and say that it did nothing for me.
right?
But that's how I feel. I don't know.
Yep.
It feels like one of those games where if you say you don't like it, people will call you a racist.
Right. At the same time, dealing with some of those characters, I felt like this is a real nice situation where I get to like bop a guy on the nose who I know 100 of in my real life that I cannot bop on the nose.
And it's
for
fun.
their casual racism.
It's fun. It's fun in the first episode, or like the first time it happens.
I
it's
never got
fun.
tired of 'em.
And then the second time, and then every time after,
Did you fuck up those guys in the jail cell?
I didn't have the option to. Or no, they're like I just no spoilers. I chose the high road of because there's you
Sure.
can't interact with them, and I was like, dude, don't even talk to these people. Don't
Sure.
even.
Yeah.
Let's us over here speak Spanish and make these rednecks so fucking mad.
On your way out, there's something you can, like on your way out of prison.
Yeah, I saw some of the choices of like about that couple. I was like, holy shit! Like 1% of people did what?
Yeah.
There's some real wild shit that can happen.
It's fucking. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah, and I like I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as the first one.
Yeah.
but it was
Overall, I was cool.
Overall, I
on it.
liked it. Yeah. Episode 3 was fucking.
It's good. Episode 3 is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Strong ending. Because it's the most like Life is Strange. You're just a fun teenager.
Yeah, you're just hanging out with a bunch of fucking people.
Just fucking smoking grass on this weed farm or whatever.
You want to go to bed or you want to have another beer and go fucking.
Oh, I'm gonna have another beer, go in the pool, or go in the lake.
Yeah.
Skinny dipping with this girl.
Yeah, I don't fucking want to go, kid brother. Fuck you.
Yeah, go to bed.
That's why he's a
Daniel,
supervillain.
he's super powered mother. Yeah, strong ending on 3.
That's the episode I'm on right now.
Really strong ending on 3.
There's gonna be a third one, or they're developing a third one.
Is that right?
Probably.
They're working
You guys not heard of
on
this?
something else with a transgender main
Yes.
character. That's not Life is Strange.
Oh, is it? I thought.
No, I think that's the company, but not the
It
brand.
is, yeah, the next game from Don't Nod, and people are mad because there are no trans writers on staff. Which again, I
That's probably as a
can't even weigh in. But you would.
I would say
you
as a trans
get a
person,
trans writer.
I was gonna say as a trans person, that seems like something that I would kind of be eye rolly at, where it's like, don't fucking make a game about trans people without having a trans
There
person.
are no end of writers of all. They come in all different flavors. Mm-hmm. You could easily get yourself a trans writer in there. Lend a little credence to that character. I don't know anything else about that game other than the.
I thought it was like the third in the series.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that's correct. They might. I wonder if they will do
Maybe
another
it'll
one.
tie in. Maybe it'll be like Cap Spirit.
Yeah, maybe
And then
they're
it'll tie
maybe
into 3.
the Don't Nod verse all ties in together. Every one of their games so far has, assuming they haven't made anything before Life is Strange, which I don't think they have. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they have. Here are the games, gentlemen. Do some quick news here.
Go for it.
Cool. Untitled Goose Game coming to Game Pass next week. That'll be this week, I guess, by the time you hear that. That's dope.
That's a fun game.
I'm glad I waited. I'm gonna check that out.
I watched someone play the entirety of that game, which is all you need to know, do to
Yeah.
enjoy that game, and I would recommend it.
We'll play it on stream one of these days soon. 2K has launched a new studio. Apparently they're already... Well, I buried the lead. There's a new Bioshock coming!
Hey!
2K launched a new studio that's already been working on it as I try to reverse my headline.
There you go.
They're called Cloud Chamber. Game has been in development apparently for a while and is expected to be in development for the next few years. No other information on it other than... well, not of Ken Levine. Ken Levine's still a ghost story where he's been since 2014. No announced projects. Nobody knows what he's doing.
He's got a studio.
Maybe nothing yet. Ghost story, but
Ghost
they haven't.
story, yeah.
They haven't
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they haven't announced anything since 2014. What do you do with the new
working on something
Bioshock,
big.
man? What do you do with the new Bioshock?
I don't know. I was talking to this, I think, with Warren a little bit, where
Complete reboot.
I was going to say maybe that's the way to go, because the nature of the ending of Bioshock Infinite basically means you can tell a million stories, but none of them really matter.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the Bioshock universe, right?
Do you think maybe that's? Do you think we start going like it's Assassin's
The thing
Creed,
is,
but
how do you-
Bioshock, and
how
we have a
do
man, a
you-
lighthouse, and a. This time the city is on fire. I don't know. Like, yeah,
Fireville.
this city is buried in the earth. I don't
Sure.
know.
Yeah, where do you put the new Bioshock?
Rapture again, or maybe you do a complete total reboot and like
But
put it in Rapture, but like play with those themes a bit.
Sure.
You know, maybe Andrew Ryan's not running things, or
I think the funny thing about the nature of Bioshock Infinite is that you could totally reboot it, and
people would
unless they
still-
specifically address it, you would still be like, "Oh, this is another lighthouse, another."
Yeah. It. How do you jump the shark again?
Right.
Like
It doesn't, like, I say it doesn't matter. It still matters. Like all these different.
But it kind of doesn't.
Can
I know.
you spoil the end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite is
It's a very
2013.
multiverse. Yeah, you get this whole multiverse thing where it's like every Bioshock that ever has been and ever will be is a part of this all-encompassing multiverse of infinite lighthouses with infinite choices,
different loops.
and it's like it doesn't make any of those other lighthouses less important. It just means like I've seen something bigger than all this.
Yeah,
I've seen.
This world can end, and we know we'll still be okay. There'll
Right.
still be more Bioshock
Right.
in the future.
Right. There's more of me everywhere.
Yes.
If I die, somewhere there's another new protagonist carrying on.
I really wonder. Or maybe there is totally a very interesting way to do another man, another lighthouse, another like it completely. It's not Rapture. It's not Columbia.
Right.
It is just another take on it all, and maybe you just don't even touch the multiverse.
Right.
You just accept it's part of it, and
Yeah, could
and then we
that-
get yearly Bioshocks, and
Could that be an
God
idea
help us.
where you just know that it's part of that universe, but they don't like it? It's not. The scope of it is a lot more focused. Like it's Rapture, and you're just living in Rapture.
Maybe
And
it's
hey,
Rapture
we're
before the
Rapture.
fall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be
Like,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
It's what they did that Burial at Sea stuff. There was a little bit of that, but
Yeah. I really don't know.
'Cause that seems like a neat place to live.
You know, you never know what you want till you get it, I
Interesting,
guess.
I suppose.
Yeah.
how about
Or
in
even
space?
Colombia.
Yeah,
Like on
on
the
the
space
moon.
station.
I'd like real talk on the moon would make total sense for your next like
Mars.
weird out there city. Yeah, or somewhere where the gravity is low and that's your
Yeah.
gimmick. But like you gotta you need the mystery, right? You need the like they did it in 3 of like, okay, well, how are these plasmids being? Where do these powers come from?
Yeah.
How are these magic machines magic? Like, how do you just keep coming up with new systems for it every time? Of like,
Right.
oh, it's moon slugs this time.
Or do you, like you said, hard reboot in a way that you can just be like, none of those ever happened. This is where it originated now in this new universe. But
I don't know, man.
Original.
I was gonna say
How
I
it
could see a really
originates.
dope game that opens with you like as an undersea explorer or something, like discovering the first of those fucking atom slugs that kicked the whole thing off.
Have you read the
I don't
book?
know. Yeah,
yeah,
long time ago.
I enjoyed that in
It's about
a
the
way
plumber,
that,
right? Or from the perspective of Bill the plumber.
engineer or whatever he was.
I think he was literally a plumber. I think he was like
Is that
super
right?
plumber. Yeah, he was
Yes.
responsible for stopping the leaks.
I feel like a super plumber should be called engineer.
Plumber, if
The guy who does the plumbing for Rapture.
a plumber will
should
high
be an
five you
engineer.
for that, an engineer will fucking slap you to the ground.
Yeah.
He's probably an engineer also.
Right. He did the plumbing for a whole underwater city. That's got to get you something.
Maybe somebody else
What
engineered.
was his name? He's an
Bill.
English guy, right?
He was,
Oh, yeah.
he was Irish, I think.
Irish?
He did.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of the tapes you would find were voiced by him.
Yeah.
It was Bill O something, I think.
Yeah. Bleeding pipes.
Yeah. Bloody Rapture. Would you kindly? Do you think we had any Would you kindly?
Well, you have to be able to do something with it, though. Like
Yeah.
you don't want Would You Kindly to
Straight
do
up, Would
the
you
thing.
kindly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I can see. You can tell lots of interesting stories in there still.
BioShock is one of those like video game trigger words that as soon as you say, like Mass Effect,
Yeah.
as soon as you say it, I will be like, I'm in. What? Go. Yeah, make it. Give it to me.
I kind
$100.
of.
Is Mass Effect still like that?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
I always tell myself it isn't.
Well, now
because,
it
like,
has to be because
Yeah.
we can't leave it on Andromeda.
No, because we had this discussion just a few podcasts ago where I said, what would your initial reaction be if they said, hey, we're making another Mass Effect right now? Would it be positive or negative? And I was always like, well, part of me would be like, well, don't leave it alone. You already did this.
Yeah.
But my heart will always be like, do it. Yeah, they're going to right the ship. Let's go.
I don't want them to touch BioShock. I feel like it's such a perfect little.
They're good. They are though.
Good.
It is-
Just leave that. That's a nice little trilogy right there. Two's not great, but it's not terrible. Just leave that.
I remember going back to 2 somewhat recently, and being like, this is way better than people give it
It just
credit
doesn't
for.
have the oh shit moment, which is what I worry about from the new BioShock. Is
the
like
oh
you
shit
can,
moments in the DLC.
yes,
Yeah.
which is a standalone thing. But that's exactly what I wrote for the new BioShock. Is like a cool, interesting game in Rapture with plasma, interesting weapons and powers is BioShock 2 is great. I
Right.
guess I'm not leaping out of my seat for it. So what is that? There's got to be something, and
One
they
of-
know that there has to be
Right.
a thing.
If you were to say what are the components of a BioShock game, what makes a BioShock game, I would say gun in one hand, plasmid in the other hand, and a fucking wild story.
Plasmids in both hands this time. Combine them.
We're not ready.
Can't do
Oh,
that.
shit. All right, you're right.
Throw
The world's not ready.
Kamehameha at me.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Does it concern anyone that Ken Levine did the good BioShocks and is not doing this
Yep.
BioShock?
Yeah, it's the Dark Souls thing where Miyazaki did all the ones I love, did not do 2, and I do not like 2.
No.
Yeah, totally concerns me. Absolutely. Yeah. All the good BioShock has been helmed by Ken Levine, except for Minerva's Den. Who
Ken Levine wrote that story.
I was going to
didn't
say,
he?
actually,
Yeah.
I think Ken Levine was all up in Minerva's Den.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's like the microcosm of God, Minerva's Den.
That's great.
Is that's the DLC for 2?
Yeah.
Is that included in the collection?
Yeah.
Yep. It's only about 2 hours long, and you could honestly skip 2 and just play Minerva's Den. But that's another one of those tricks where it only ever works the one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to be running out of those soon.
I thought they were running out of those when they did Infinite.
So did
and
I.
They had the biggest,
And that
maybe not the best one, but the biggest one of all.
that DLC. Well, I thought they did an Infinite, and I'm like, oh, DLC, huh? What are you going to do now? And then the DLC fucking does it even
Yeah,
bigger.
They just keep double downing on everything they're doing.
Yeah, who knows?
Is the Infinite DLC on there?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's all on there.
It's all on there.
Yeah.
I have my hands on that game. I just
You should
have not
fuck
played
some
it.
of that
You
DLC.
should play 3. 3 is so good. Infinite, sorry.
Yeah,
BioShock Infinite.
I have played the, Infinite.
Oh, perfect.
It's really good.
should.
Have you played
but
DLC?
not in a long time.
Have you played both the DLCs?
No, I haven't.
They're
The DLCs
fucking-
are moi.
Yes, also as good as the main game,
Yeah.
and like different, really, really different, like stealth sequences. And
They just put a
They're
bow. They just put a bow on that whole 3-game package in a way where it's like it's done. Take it.
Yep. And never make another. It seems to say never make another Bioshock, but here we are talking about it. Podcast at talkingrocks.com, an email address. You can write in your shots. Where do you think the next BioWare fucking Bioshock
Also
game? Did I say you should write in the
Edmonton.
next shocks? I'm all over the place. Let me take it from the top here. In 3, 2. Podcast at talkingreckless.com is an email address. Why don't you write in and tell us where you think the next Bioshock might be set?
Nailed it.
Or you can drop us voicemails on our Discord. Our good friend Avero, I guess he is ours, Will Smithingly. I was chatting with a bit on the week. Send in some more Will Smith emails. You know, he's led the charge, but wanted me to tell you that it's fine for everyone to love Will Smith. You know, if you have nice things to say about Will Smith, head on over to talkingbreckless.com, click the Discord button, throw those voice clips in our Discord. We'll play them here on the show.
Here's a hot take.
If it's about Will Smith, we do not. You can't.
I feel like Will Smith's way better on social media than The Rock is.
Oh, that's a hot take on The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking A.
Don't really like The Rock.
We got a voicemail here from Oliver's coming in. He says, you gotta say it again.
Hi, Oliver Aguilar.
Shitty quarter.
Yeah. Long time listener. I've written in a
3
few times.
Coming in live from New Zealand.
To tell us what drive-through you're sitting in while you do this.
No, I kind of dislike The Rock on it.
He's very one note.
Yep.
He's very
Social
power
media?
positivity.
You think he's got a man? He's probably got a manager. They probably all have social media managers.
He's fucking. Well, he might have a manager, but The Rock is fucking doing those tweets.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
How can his
Will
man?
Smith-
Does he have a wand? How do his massive
Probably.
muscular thumbs?
He's probably like uses a big iPad as a phone.
Yeah, that's right.
His phone is a tablet.
And I just feel like Will Smith is just way more entertaining.
I'll agree.
But also,
Here in the Will Smith
don't know-
positivity section of the show.
I
Fuck
don't
yeah,
know
buddy.
which guy I like better.
The answer
as
is
a
Will
person,
Smith.
actor.
I mean,
but like,
listen, as a
man,
person, who knows?
Yeah.
As an actor, it's got to be Big Will.
We just need that movie with both The Rock and Will Smith in it.
The world's not ready.
I would really like a movie like that.
I can't believe it. No, I can believe it hasn't happened. It probably will happen. I'm
Egos.
sure.
Egos, Matt.
Yeah.
As you
Will
know.
Will doesn't have an ego. I don't know if you
Neither
knew
does
that.
The Rock.
I think Will's got an
No.
ego.
No.
I think The Rock has an ego too. I just think that's less
Will,
in question.
Will doesn't have Will doesn't have an ego. Meat Ronan.
He'll only work with younger versions of himself.
Yeah. As long as they're not as handsome or handsomer. Meat wrote in and says, everyone loves a good I don't know why force is in quotes. Everyone loves a good force push.
Force is real.
But and the capital F, please and thank you. But in your opinions, what had the better push of the year? Control or Fallen Order? I'm going to expand this out and say, what is your favorite force push in video games? Which, if you somehow don't know what Star Wars is, a force push is like a telekinetic, like a
Put your
burst.
hand out and shoot everything backwards.
Okay, so when I first read this question, I was a little confused.
Yeah, the
because
quotes on force. Fuck me too. I just we lived it.
I thought that we were talking about like the marketing push for the game. Like, which game do you think had the bigger push?
Oh yes, maybe that's what it is. The force push.
Who was pushing the Force more before release?
Yeah. Does she have a force push in Control? It's kind of it's like a choke into a.
No, she's got like a in Control.
Yeah.
It's
the melee.
Yeah, it's a straight.
Whoever
like,
uses the melee.
No, there's like a straight push.
I don't
isn't there?
know. Think all your powers. There's grab, shield.
I thought it was one of the first ones you got.
I know you have a melee that does a little one.
Yeah.
I think
If that's the one that
you
they're
might be right
talking-
because I remember blasting like shelves and
Yeah. Like I think it's like
Things
your
apart.
standard, your first move, like your standard, like I'm gonna go destroy everything in this place.
I think
Is
the
like
first
a
one
push.
was rip. I think it's throw. I'm gonna check. I'm talking myself out of it. I don't think there is a literal
you think
push.
you think it's a pull and throw?
because
You have to
it'll
do
like
the pull before.
yeah,
the
because
throw?
it'll like rip rocks out of the ground if you can't find anything. It'll just
Right.
pull something out of the earth for you to throw.
You're right.
That's
I think it is a throw.
The same thing though. Throw and push is kind of the same thing,
Well,
right?
You're right.
but
The
if you're-
throw just has the
If you're
you have
standing
to
on a
yank the stuff
ledge with the
first.
control one, I can't get you off that ledge. Like I can't just you off the ledge. I have to pull you to me and then throw you all the way to the ledge,
or throw something at you,
or throw something at you.
Well, yeah, it's like how it's dangerous to throw like a shot put ball. You have to actually push it.
He's right.
but I can't. I have no forward momentum. It's only a pull. It's only a pull.
I mean, it's a push after you pull him.
it's true.
Yeah,
but it's a
real,
1-2.
Yeah,
like it's a like you
gotta grab and wind it up.
I guess it counts, but when you think of a force push, you think of like 20 stormtroopers like whoa flying over at once.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in Control.
I think the answer is
It's a quote force push.
Yeah. The answer is Star Wars.
But yeah, I mean, the marketing behind Star Wars.
Between
Yes.
Control and Star Wars,
Between Control and Star Wars,
Yeah.
the answer is Star Wars has a better push.
hell of a push.
Control has way better abilities
Yeah.
as a complete package.
The
Because-
push in Star Wars feels so good because you're kind of limited with what else you can do. I think and that
Yeah.
push feels really good.
you get some abilities in Control that you can kind of combine together in a way that make you feel fucking like a goddamn superhero.
Master Jedi done got shit on Jesse.
Yeah, I just unlocked the pull where you pull in all the enemies around you in Star Wars.
I never actually unlocked that one.
No, it's pretty fun.
It's like, why would I want them all to be super close to me? These guys are just gonna fuck me up.
Because then
Good point.
you have it on easiest difficulty, so they just stand there and they're like, "Oh, we're right beside you now, huh?" Then you hit them with your
Weird.
lightsaber.
I totally agree with Fallen Order. Heck of a force push in Fallen Order. What is the best? What's your favorite force push all time? This is our only email this week, so we get a little bit of time to ruminate here. Force Unleashed obviously has a fucking really big force push, which, I mean, it's right in the name. That's Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like telekinesis is a Bioshock ability, but that's more like Jesse's kind of grab and hold and then chuck.
Yeah. Does Delton? What's his name from Infamous? Is that Delton? Does he
might
have
have had a-
From 2,
Yeah.
Cole's 1, but
Delton have a push?
they've
I can't remember that game at
Maybe
all.
I'll see if anybody's in the Twitch chat. I'm sure there's a lot of good ideas.
Dalton's superpower? Was it lightning as well?
No, that was the first guy.
Yeah.
Was it-
Cole.
And the second guy. Like the
Concrete?
Cole was in
No.
1 and 2.
What was
Oh,
his
yeah.
first power?
Oh, right. He had multiple
Yeah, I
powers.
think
Yeah.
you could change.
He absorbed them.
Neon he had.
That was later
That
though,
was
because you get
later.
what do you start with? There's concrete, neon,
The power
signal.
of
Is it
neon?
signal? No, because signal you
go
get later
through
too.
the fucking neon tubes. It's the best one. It's dope.
Concrete, signal, or that blue one.
Yeah,
fuck is
the
Signal?
Wi-Fi one was Signal,
Yeah,
right?
the Wi-Fi one.
Wi-Fi one.
Neon. I forget the last one.
This guy
It's probably
sucks.
fire.
Imagine being able to take Wi-Fi away from people. People would be so mad.
Super
That would
villain.
be a very villainous
That's a
superpower.
villain.
All right, I do now have the chat open. So if you had force pushes that you were putting in earlier, put them in now, and we'll get to them. Because I'm also struggling to think of some.
And the concrete one was the one the bad guy had.
She was the FBI or,
Yeah,
or
like-
whatever lady, Homeland Security lady.
You didn't have like a fire thing? No?
I think it might have been fire. I think the
Yeah.
first power just might have been fire.
I think so.
It
Yeah.
was all smoke and ashes and shit.
Yeah, smoke.
No,
You- you could-
now that you say smoke, I feel like that it was a power that was not the first power.
Really?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know
no
though.
idea.
I'm not.
I sort
My
of
power's
remember
smoke.
the very beginning where you're kind of driving in the truck with your brother,
And you
You
smoke
got
out
the
of
smoke?
it.
and then you smoke out of
Okay,
it.
maybe
you
you're
go.
right. I find that game far less memorable than the first Infamous.
Yeah.
I love the first Infamous.
I like
the second one.
that second game as well. I just it's forgettable.
The third game. You're forgetting the true forgettable second game, which was
Yeah, it is
Cole
smoke.
again in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh! Yes, you're right.
When is Cole in New Orleans? What?
Well, the
That's
New, the
Infamous
New
too.
Orleans stand-in in the way that the first
Oh.
person is, or the first game is a New York stand-in.
Yes. Smoke neon video. Smoke neon video and
video.
concrete. Yes.
Oh,
I said
neon was
signal.
video?
No, neon is neon.
Oh, okay, and then video.
Smoke, concrete, video, and neon.
It's powers. Wi-Fi.
It's a modern influence from the modern age, you guys. I'm looking up force push
It's kind
in
of like
video
American
games.
Gods, right? Where that one god, the shithead god.
Anansi.
No, the
What?
one the media.
Oh yes.
I forget what that's
Napa
called.
hates him.
Nap hates the media. That's one of the best parts of that
Yeah,
whole
there's
show.
a lot of bad force pushes. Battlefront 2. These are all gonna be Star Wars games, unfortunately.
okay.
Battlefront 2 had a good start. The original.
Is there anything not Star Wars? Probably.
I was
trying
trying
to
to
think.
think of things that
Psyops?
were not really Star Wars.
Psyops
but-
has the grab and throw, which is pretty good.
No.
Especially back in the day when there was like nothing else kind of like that. That original Psyops.
Do you know I went through almost all of that, the Force Unleashed, without ever once using my Force Push to deal with those rocket launchers?
That's probably a bit of a Whoops.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I was like, there's no real way to deal with this. I'll just have to just run around, dodge him, and then go get him.
I don't know if this counts, but there is a video game called Advent Rising. Does it count if it's he makes a spherical shield around himself, but as he walks forward, it like anything near him gets like whooshed away in a kind of a.
I mean, if you have to ask if it counts.
Yeah, well, that's the control. I don't know. I don't know the best force pushes. I was unprepared.
Should count-ish
for this question.
Yeah. Pushing things away.
Too much Star Wars in media for me to think of anything other than Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars probably has the best ones anyway. That's why it's famous.
Force Unleashed, I think, has...
That's some good force pushing.
Man, Force Unleashed is such a good game.
Yeah.
They should remaster it.
You know what? Speaking of news, I heard they were remastering Bayonetta for the Xbox. Yes. Don't ask me
all
any
the
Bayonettas? One for sure.
For the Series
probably
X?
Probably Switch or Wii U exclusive too. Did that ever come to other shit? That did eventually.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I've played it. I've played it, and I don't have a PS2
Yeah, sorry, what are you talking about?
Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta was a Nintendo exclusive, not Sony.
Wii U exclusive.
Well, yeah,
Bayonetta
I
2
can't
was...
remember what the console was at the time, but yeah, Wii U makes sense.
I'm just asking if it's still exclusive.
Was there not a sort of force push in Mass Effect?
He like threw a ball.
Oh, that should count. Yeah, that's a
very good force push.
And that one arcs in a way that like you can curve that.
You're basically like throwing a ball that once it hits the guy goes floating more than flying, but still.
Oh, it is Wii U and Switch. I want to change my answer to Mass Effect 3. The push in Mass Effect 3 is so fucking good because at the end you get like 2 or 3 of them and they all like arc out differently and they can hit them all.
Are we talking? Is there
the biotic?
Is there a push and a like
it's
lift?
Called throw.
Yeah, okay. Lift.
Yeah,
lift is the one I like.
Throw. Well, you got to lift them, then you got to throw them.
I always lifted them and then did warp them. Yeah.
Yeah, that push is really fucking good.
Blew them to fucking high heaven.
Especially because multiple orbs can hit the same guy, so it'll like, boom, first one hits him into the sky, and the second one sends him into space.
Yeah. Fuck, that game was good.
That's a great push. Good call. That's definitely my favorite.
Mass Effect.
Even more than... I just love the look of that. It's a tactile sphere. It's something you can see coming at you, you know?
Nothing you can do about it. Because I fucking hooked it right around your cover.
I think somebody like... it happens in cutscenes, but I feel like biotics can like catch him or block him or do some shit.
So biotic people do insane things in those cutscenes that they never once do while you're fighting.
Which sucks. Every biotic in the world can fly except for Shepard. It makes no fucking sense.
And they're like doing like jumping up and doing like ground slams and then lifting buildings and throwing them at people, and then fucking Liara is there just trying to fucking hit a throw orb and keeps throwing them into fucking pillars.
She's trying to bury herself. Podcast, talkrocks.com is the email address. You want to write in some, write in and tell us your favorite force pushes.
Don't do that.
I mean, if you can, if you want to.
Sure. Maybe include an email on the end too, like a question.
In. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. No, but do write at the podcast at talkrocks.com. Anything we want to know about video games? Ask me about video games. You want to know about, you got a quandary, some of your lives, friends can't fare. Is a hamburger a sandwich? We diffused that argument 11 years ago. We are fucking accredited ombudsmen. Podcast, talkrocks.com. Or just head on over to talkrocks.com, join our Discord. Honestly, the Discord is the best way to stay in touch these days. It's like kind of the only form of, I don't know if it's social media or whatever. It's the only form of online anything I really keep up with. So join our Discord. You want to do some chatting.
Hit me up for Sekiro strats.
Hit that man up for Sekiro strats.
I know them all.
The hot new Sekiro channel, Brandon.
If you can cheese them, I'll know how to cheese them.
I might know how to cheese quite a few of them too, actually. I know how to do one you didn't know how to do.
Yeah, I actually don't. I didn't. The definition of cheese is a loose definition.
It's true. It's pretty obvious when it happens.
I really didn't break any enemies. Yeah. I did do like I'm not going to fight you your way. I'm going to run like hell until
smart,
you do
buddy.
one attack, and then I'm going to fucking
that's thinking
punish
smarter
you for that one attack.
Yeah, working as intended.
I'll fight you for 45 minutes, and I'll only attack when you do this one attack.
Been there.
Yeah.
Rolling Reckless now has its own feed. That's our D&D Live Play podcast. Go and listen to that. If you enjoyed what you heard, you can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/talkingrecklesspodcast. We're a teeny little podcast. Oh, we're ever so tiny. We got somewhere under 60 patrons. And this is my full-time job. So if you're willing and able, would like to support, there are hundreds of hours of Patreon exclusive content on there for you as well. Lots and lots of good stuff. What is coming up? There's like 10,000 things this week.
Did you do that cooking thing yet?
That's on Wednesday. Wednesday, this week, the 18th, Cooking with Chef Eads. Heading over to me mam's house. We're going to be making kind of a Christmas dinner roast and potatoes and homemade stuffing. We're going to do some stuff. It's going to be awesome. Join us for that. That's on the Patreon on Wednesday night. Friday is Doinkception, our next TRWL event.
Woo! Doinked.
Thrilled to announce DK will be defending his title in a Hell in a Cell match. A hot new tag team comprising of Oliver J. and who else knows? I'll say this week for you to figure out Oliver J. and the most impressive competitor, both physically and ability-wise, and handsomeness in the TRWL.
Sweet, The Rock's coming on.
It's Will Smith. Oh, frig. That's on Friday nights. Our Talking Reckless Wrestling League, our latest call it a pay-per-view. Ton of work goes into that, so come enjoy that. And if you want to be in that, check out the Patreon. I think that's all I have to say. Next week, we'll be in a world where I guess I won't have seen Star Wars by podcast time, but I will have seen The Witcher.
Oh, yes.
I will have seen the end of Watchmen.
Is The Witcher
No, all at once.
Oh, thank God.
It's all at once?
Oh, thank
All at
God.
once, yeah.
Me and Henry gonna light some scented candles.
I don't think
sit in the tub.
Netflix doesn't do a whole lot of
No, they don't.
week by week things.
I think they have a couple.
Every now and again they get weird about it.
It's only when they do like a broadcast of something that's on TV live, then they'll do week by week. But
That
if
makes
it's
sense.
anything else, it's always all at once.
It's gonna be a weird world. We're a lot of TV, a lot of video game related TV to talk to. Mandalorian's wrapping up soon too, so that's just about done. It's a wild world. Wild world. Come and join us over on Twitch.tv Talk Rock Podcast. I stream every day. Didn't say that properly, but you know it. I don't need to say it again. We'll see you here in a week. 7 days. It'll be the 300 and it'll be Christmas Eve. The day before Christmas Eve. The 302nd edition of the Talking Records Podcast. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Quasi Kwanzaa. Well, I am exhausted.
Let's wrap this up.
Turning this thing off.
What time is it?
Thanks, everybody.
9:45. I'm going to bed.
Kev's going to bed at 9:45.
Pastor Freckle.
So tired.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Let's play some video games tomorrow, you and I. What do you say? Great. We'll see you then.